actual high temperature today in the middle 90s with triple-digit heat indices. And really not much day-to-day change for the rest of the week and into the weekend. Lows at night will be in the mid-70s. Slow down, take it easy, stay hydrated. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey Publix.
1819 News.
Alabama Democrats are discussing the possibility of replacing President Joe Biden as presidential candidate on the Alabama ballot. This comes after a recent debate with Donald Trump. State Representative Sam Jones acknowledges the challenge of removing Biden on short notice, and political analyst Steve Flowers emphasized the urgency for Democrats to act quickly if they do decide to switch candidates. On the other hand, House Minority Leader Anthony Daniels opposes the idea, stressing support for Biden's accomplishments, and State Senator Robert Stewart says he has full confidence in Biden's leadership and looks forward to supporting him at the Democratic National Convention in August. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Are you enjoying 1819 News? If so, consider joining 1819 News as a member. As a nonprofit news organization, we depend on the support of Alabamians like you. Memberships start out as little as $5 a month, and you'll get access to exclusive content only offered to our members. You'll be supporting independent journalism done by people who cherish Alabama values. Become a member today by visiting 1819news.com and clicking Become a Member. That's 1819news.com and click Become a Member today.
A judge has denied the Department of Labor's request for a preliminary injunction against Marjack Poultry based out of Alabama. The poultry processing company is accused of employing 6 minors in violation of the Fair Labor Standards Act. Judge L. Scott Kugler denied the motion after failed negotiations for a settlement, as well as counterclaims from Marjack that the Department of Labor engaged in sending out letters to customers to get them to stop buying from the company. Judge Kugler noted that Marjack's defense was that the minors had used fake IDs to get the jobs, and he emphasized that granting the injunction would harm Marjack's as well as the public. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
Hi there, I'm Madeline Cannon with Alabama Home Mortgage. Getting pre-approved is the first step towards home ownership. People are often scared or nervous about taking that first step, but I'll tell you, it's nothing to be scared of. At Alabama Home Mortgage, we will take the first step and every step along the way with you. Call us at 567-4223. We will gather the information needed to tell you exactly what you qualify for. After a call to Alabama Home Mortgage, you will know what price point to shop for, what down payment is required, if any, and what your monthly mortgage payment will look like. We take all the guessing out of it. Then, when you find the house you want to make your home, you are ready to make an offer. Along with your offer, you will submit your Alabama Home Mortgage pre-approval letter. This shows sellers that you've already taken the steps necessary to ensure that you qualify to purchase their home. Wait no longer. It's time to take that first step together. Call me at 567-4223 or start the process online at myalabamahomemortgage.com.
That's Alabama Home Mortgage because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36-8, Equal Housing Lender.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Hey, miss! I don't mean to be telling tales out of school, but there's a fella in there who'll pay you $10 if you sing into his hand. I'm not here to make a record, you dumb cracker. They broadcast me out on the radio.
Joey Clark.
Welcome into News and Views in the afternoon, or as we call this thing online, Joey Clark Live. And as is tradition I like very much, we have here to kick off the show the one, the only Judge Andrew Napolitano. Judge, how you doing today?
I'm well, Joey. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing quite well. There's so much in the world. Did you have a good 4th?
I had a great Fourth, and I too like our Tuesday tradition.
Yeah, it's I'm not going to get into local Montgomery politics, but it's refreshing to take a break from some of that stuff. Though international politics is not exactly a cakewalk. I don't know if you've been seeing this video. It's a short clip, a long conversation with Ben Shapiro and Douglas Murray, if you're aware of those two fellas. And there's a 4-minute clip making the rounds, and I kind of want to just throw a quote, and it is an accurate characterization of what Douglas Murray said in regards to Israel. He first played out this idea that, all would be a tragedy. Say 50 million Jews killed would be the end of the story, though. So 50 million Christians could die, 50 million Muslims could die. That shouldn't happen. But if 50 million Jews die, that's the end of the story. And then Murray says, quote, Western civilization could not survive the destruction of the Jewish state because it would be, among much else, the cutting away of the whole tree we're on. And Western civilization would die. Could America survive if the Jewish people were no more on its watch or everybody was forcibly deported from the Holy Land? Come on. Of course not. And I know you're covering this war. I can anticipate maybe some answers, but what's your reaction to this? Because it's a prominent commentator really stumping for Israel in this war.
Well, I mean, these are scare tactics intended to either terrify the West, or as Prime Minister Netanyahu will probably try to do 2 weeks from tomorrow, talk the West into joining Israel's wars against its neighbors. I mean, I'm amazed at those who think that the current war in Gaza began on October 7th. It actually began 100 years ago with the Balfour Declaration, just declaring that this land could be Israel, with utter disregard for the 750,000 people that lived there and their ancestors who lived there for 3,000 years. So I'm not sure where Murray's going. I don't know him. I know Ben very well, but I don't know the person he was talking to. They're both, I believe, in favor of the genocide. They won't call it that. In Gaza right now, but the history is that the Western elites just decided that the Zionists could take this property. The Zionists actually jumped the gun and declared it a free state in 1948 before the UN authorized it. The UN and President Harry Truman went along with it, and they've been stealing property and killing Palestinians ever since.
Well, and I would rebut that somewhat in this sense that I think there is a lot of, say, bad acting on both sides. I wouldn't say the Palestinian gripe with Israel in particular is always virtuous. I would say that I'm in the camp of the killing needs to stop, and we can have peace and a ceasefire, and whether it's 2 states or many states or however you want to arrange it. And then the irony is, and I got this from your show in particular, Doug McGregor, but other commentators you have on, that by prosecuting this war in the way they are in Gaza, Israel is actually putting itself in a more precarious situation.
Oh, absolutely. It has antagonized nearly the entire world. Its economy is in very bad shape. The Turks will not only not trade with it, they won't allow anything to get through the waters that they control to reach Israel. There are no Palestinians to do menial tasks for Israeli businesses and homes that formerly employed them. We don't know how many members of the IDF have been killed. It's probably about 7,000 killed and so severely injured that they can't go back to the battle. So they're suffering terribly because Netanyahu doesn't want to leave office, because he doesn't want to confront the legal issues against him, which he will confront immediately upon leaving. The Prime Minister of Israel is not the commander-in-chief of the military, the way the President of the United States is the commander-in-chief of the American military. And the military is standing up and saying to the Prime Minister, we're exhausted. We are not equipped to fight long wars, only short wars. We can't beat Hamas. Hamas is an idea. It's time to go home. So this is a very serious state of affairs. Former American ambassador to Saudi Arabia and former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense Charles Freeman, now a regular on my show, says that there's no way that the Israelis can defeat Hamas and defeat Hezbollah, and Netanyahu knows that. So where are they going with all these wars? All they're going to do is to bring the wrath of all their neighbors on them. The Turks have the best army in NATO. The Iranians have more missiles than the Israelis do. The last time the Israelis fought Hezbollah, the Israelis threw up a white flag and went home. So Netanyahu needs to recognize all this.
Yeah, and I think the tactics used by this guy Douglas Murray, who I've read a lot of his books and respect in other opinions, but it seems he's using the extreme case, because I can see it on Twitter, I can see it around the world, the awful, I think, truly anti-Semitic things that are out there. But it's one thing to have that axe to grind. It's another to say this war is probably going to lead to more war, more death, and could very well endanger the very state that he's claiming to uphold. And then I also am nervous that this war in Ukraine continues to churn on and on. And do you just think it's unfounded that, I don't know, it's a gut feeling that as these wars continue to churn on and on, they will not stay contained?
Well, no, the nature of war is to expand. I mean, yesterday, the Polish prime minister said they're going to start shooting down missiles that are over Ukraine from Poland. They're just itching to get involved in the war. General Stoltenberg, who I believe is actually out of office now, and there's a new head of NATO, says NATO is ready with a 500,000 man army. I mean, that is nonsense. Where are they? Who are they? They're not Americans. Prime Minister Orban of Hungary said 2 days ago, the EU bureaucracy and the EU leadership wants war against Russia. These people are crazy if that's what they want. Do they want to see Berlin or Moscow in destroyed?
Right. Yeah, it's we're playing with fire. And then when you see, the whole corporate media is acting like they just discovered Joe Biden's kind of lost a step, to put it mildly. But
that's another state of affairs, which is, I feel sorry for him, but it's a very sad state of affairs and a fraud on the American people that he's this mentally disabled. Who's calling the shots? It's obviously somebody that's not been elected president and is not answerable to the people. I mean, he's entitled to put around him whoever he wants in the White House, but he's got to call the shots. I don't think that fellow that debated Trump the other night is mentally competent to be calling the shots. You're talking about life and death. You're talking about hundreds of billions of dollars.
And you do have to wonder, like, if you look at the cabinet, the CIA director, what is William Burns, he seems like an actual adult, but then I look at Tony Blinken and Jake Sullivan, and, they can talk around an issue all day, every day. But if those are the guys running the show, I really don't have confidence in them, especially how much they have just missed the boat on all these things.
So Professor Sachs reminded me and my audience this morning that the negotiations for the so-called ceasefire are being conducted by the intelligence community, MI6, Mossad, and CIA. Well, they don't answer to anybody. Ambassador Freeman says the current State Department of the United States is the least respected internationally since the end of World War II.
Oh, man.
So the Tony Blinken refuses to pick up the phone and talk to his opposite number in Russia. They haven't spoken in a year. President Biden calls President Putin a dictator, a criminal, a thug, and a war criminal. Lindsey Graham, I just reminded everybody in my column for next week. I'm away for 2 weeks. So I've written 3 columns today.
Oh, goodness.
I try to make the topic evergreen, but in one of them, I quote Lindsey Graham asking Joe Biden to assassinate Vladimir Putin. I mean, these people are out of their minds. Don't they think there'll be blowback even to this type of verbiage, much less, in Tony Blinken's case, the failure to speak? In Joe Biden's case, the barnyard insults hurled at Putin, to which he is mature enough not even to respond.
Well, and to a point you made earlier, and not just about Israel, I would say that when you look at the post-war elite, they, I think, did some good things. It seems like those were more competent people, say, in 1948 running the U.S. government than today. But they also, like people today have learned, just manage problems and kick the can down the road. And it seems like we're at the point, despite the defeat of the Soviet Union, despite of what should be massive wealth and prosperity, that we're losing our ideals. I know you talked about it last week before the 4th, the twilight of the ideals of this nation. But it does seem like the Western civilization, so to speak, is unraveling to a degree. And I just wonder, what's the basis? And I guess I'm asking this from the point of view of, you're like probably the best pre-Vatican II Catholic that I know. So, is it Christendom? What is the tradition that, as people see the world going mad, that people might grope towards, at least try to cling on to understand where they came from? I know it's a big question, but I got to ask it.
Well, values are watered down. I mean, the government pays for people's bodies to be mutilated and changed from one gender to another. In academic institutions, you can get in trouble if you don't call a human being they, even though it's one person. I mean, we really have taken this egalitarian diversity, equity, inclusion to absurd extremes. And you mentioned Vatican II. It has even infected the Roman Catholic Church, whose pontiff's duties used to be to preserve tradition, not to assault them. But that's what Francis is doing. The pendulum swings, but people suffer in the interim. What the hell does the church stand for today? If you read Francis's the stuff that he writes, it's all about watering down tradition. If you read what has become the West, well, SCO, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, and BRICS are about to merge, and they will represent 80% of Eurasia, Europe and Asia, and 40% of the world's population. They're basically saying to the West, go take a hike. We don't need you for security, and we will be wealthier than you are. You think that your sanctions have hurt us? They've actually helped us.
Man. And, I just, excuse me, one quick follow-up here. I don't know why that just triggered. When did you notice, and sorry for the biographical question, but you're out of step with the common, almost collectivist, redistributive system that we've become in this country? Like, when did you start to notice the wind is blowing in the wrong way?
When I was 14 years old and I read The Conscience of a Conservative by Barry Goldwater, which today would be called The Conscience of a Libertarian. That's when I began personally to recognize how out of step I was with everybody else. So in 1964, everybody in my household was voting for Lyndon Johnson. And I put a bumper sticker on one of my father's cars that said AUH2O, the symbols for gold water. So not everybody knew what it meant. But that was about as far as I could get as a 14-year-old.
Well, relying on the periodic table to get a political message surreptitiously out to that. Yeah, you were wise beyond your years at 14. I appreciate the time as always, Judge. Of course, I encourage folks to check out Judging Freedom. Who was on the show? Who's upcoming? What should folks be checking out?
Well, we had Jeff Sachs and Ambassador Freeman on, and we had Pepe Escobar, who's absolutely such a delight to interview and is wildly popular with my viewers. He came to us from China, so he was on at 8 this morning. This afternoon, I have Matt Ho, Karen Kwiatkowski, and the always worth waiting for at 4:30 Eastern, Scott Ritter. This is my last week for 2 weeks, so I won't be with you until 3 weeks from today. I'll be in Italy for 2 weeks. So we're jamming all of our first-rate. I'm leaving Friday. We're jamming all of our first-rate people in Monday through Thursday.
Well, I appreciate you making the time today, and we'll talk again in about 3 weeks.
You got it,
Thank you, sir.
Man. All the best, Joey. Thank you.
God bless. Again, folks, that's Judge Andrew Napolitano. Always appreciate him on the show, and it is a refreshing change, even though, like I said, the international stuff and what's happening on the larger macro scene isn't exactly enjoyable either, but it does seem to be a bit more, at least heady than just talking about Montgomery. And Eddie Bader's here. How you doing, Eddie?
All right, how you doing?
I'm all right. And Byron Sheehy is here. How you doing?
Doing all right. What's going on, fellas?
I got the feeling.
You got the feeling?
I got the feeling that talking to Ed Nettles yesterday, that I'm not accusing him personally necessarily of anything, but just I felt like I was playing the part of a dance in a conversation, so to speak, quote unquote, that has been going on talk radio airways, but other media outlets in this city in particular for too damn long. It's the same stuff. And, I respect the folks who came before me, but I don't want to be a carbon copy of Don Markwell.
Nobody puts baby in the corner.
Or Mark Montiel or all these, I just in the middle of it, and I'll put it this way, Eddie, I get why you got up and left. I really do.
Man.
But then I realized at a certain point, let's just drive this thing to the ground. Let's do a whole 2 hours because I just want to get the perspective. And it's not just about that guy. It got me thinking about, from folks sending me messages, that I think the corruption in this town is not just in City Hall and the mayor's office or the cowardice and weakling, womanly approach of the city council. I think there's corruption in our hospitals. I think there's deep corruption in our state. And all this talking around it, I'm happy to talk to guests like they're guests. But there's a lot of BS being spewed these days.
I don't know how you do it, man, because, it's not my show. I'm invited on. I'd have a hard time knowing that someone was talking to me like I didn't have, a foggy clue what was going on, and I was just some schmuck.
Yeah.
I'm not your average bear, man. I know how to
foggy clue. I like that.
I don't know. Kudos to you for doing it and suffering through it, if that's the best way to say it. But I agree. 99 questions can be answered with money, and greed is one of those sins that people can never get enough of, or power. So these people in authority, no matter what level of government, what institution or pillar, like you said, it may be healthcare, it may be academia.
And somebody just texted me, the churches. How many 1,000 churches we got in the area?
People just don't want to give up power and all the perks and plush things that come along with it, like being able to tell people what to do and get your way the whole damn time, you're in office or in whatever position. But I do think that because of media or whatever, the normal person is starting to wake up more and more to it.
No, and I think there are a lot of folks in this town and around this nation who are tired of the conversations that have been going on for 30, 40 years. They're ready for a new conversation, dadgummit.
Let me answer. All right, this is completely hypothetical. How bad is it going to have to get before the American people breaks away from a two-party system and truly does adopt more of a plurality or parliamentary type system? There's nothing in the Constitution that says we have to have two parties. And I think that you can look at more people not participating in election after election. That's more people being dissatisfied with the current party system as it is and seeing it for the sham that it is, that, red, blue for y'all, green for us. Here's your pitchfork. Here's your torch. Y'all go at it and pay no attention to us while, we just eat caviar and drink champagne. For
Well,
whatever
and
we
I
want.
think that system, the prevailing system that is rotten to the core, it's probably going to break itself. Now, does that mean something better will come on? Not necessarily. I'm really at the point too, and it's something I can't fight against these trends of history. History does have an impact, and you're born into it, so to speak. But I think there are also a lot of people trying to say, if we just to make a difference, we need to vote for the right city councilman and vote for the right mayor, get the current one to resign and all stuff. And I'm like, yeah, that maybe plays a small part. But when I look at my own damn life, I'd love y'all's opinion on this. The best thing I can do is work my tail off and try to set myself up to where I'm protecting myself and the people I love.
'Cause
And
no one else
screw the
is.
politicians.
No one else is.
Yeah.
But there's a group of people out there who, I'm not going to say can't or don't want to, but they just know that there's a group of people above them who kind of pull the strings or want to have control, and whatever falls or percolates down to them, that's what they'll get.
Yeah.
And they're content with that.
Right.
Well, and then what happens is you get a system of resentment that breeds more resentment.
Yep.
It's like, you're not being fair. No, you're not being fair. Well, I'm tired of you not being fair. And so thus downward spiral continues.
Okay, so imagine if we get away from that binary A-B conversation and we can actually start talking about more of the nuances and find different common grounds with groups of people that we were unable to do so beforehand.
Yeah. And I think some of it is, some folks are just, and I don't mean this like genocidal. I mean, some folks I think are just going to have to die. Like, time needs to do its work. I'm thinking of Biden. I'm thinking of a lot of folks. It's sorry to be so ugly in the afternoon.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but science is going to extend human life to 120 years in the next 10 years. So.
Oh, Joe Biden, I'm living
It
forever.
does that for the wrong people.
Well, yeah.
Vampires.
Let's watch
Give me your stem cells.
Let's find the 70 and 80-year-old senators and watch their travel habits, and we'll know where the resort is that they all go to for their avocado ice cream.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Now, somebody sent me a little thing and preview for later on these airwaves. It won't be my show. It'll be Happy Hour with Greg Budell. I believe Dr. David Thrasher is going to be on at 3:30 or so on Greg's show. And I know he's been on recently before as well, but
Been a recurring guest, I believe.
just wanted to remind folks he will be returning to Happy Hour this afternoon.
Good deal.
And I want to read, because I've been reading these in private, but I've not been reading them public on these airways, but might as well. The open letters that Dr. Thrasher is sending to everybody and their brother, from Chip Hill to Mayor Stephen Reed to Governor Ivey to Will Ainsworth, how's it shaking, Goose? To Senator Tuberville, how's it shaking, Ichabod Crane? To Senator Brett, we'll get to her. Like, she did the most ultimate bless your heart
Yes, she did.
you to somebody up in D.C. I've ever seen.
Yes, she did.
We'll get to that video in a second. I've heard that tone before. D.A. Bailey, this letter's sent to, and like hundreds of people on this email that he's sending out. This is the most recent one. Thrasher writes, "We in Montgomery are blessed to have many great doctors. I'm especially proud of our trauma team. Dr. Vermillion, Anderson, and Mullins. They are probably the best in the entire South at least. You may recall we had one of our trauma surgeons pinned down on a Sunday as bad guys were shooting up cars where he was trying to get lunch. This weekend, our covering neurosurgeon, they don't make those very often.
They were 12 years or so.
This neurosurgeon who's covering, is like visiting, was awakened in her Airbnb by gunfire, only to find her car riddled with bullet holes.
Ouch.
She left only to say that she will never work in Montgomery again until it is safe. This house is on Hull Street and has had numerous complaints, and the neighbors say, quote, there are Fallujah-like gunfights like the one last night frequently. MPD was driving by during the gunshots and ignored them.
Imagine that.
Thrasher goes on. He says, they are one of only a handful of trauma teams in Alabama, and ours is the best. Likewise, our ER docs, led by Dr. Sullivan, Barant, and others, do an amazing job. They save lives every day. Can you imagine going to work each day knowing that you are going to have to try to save the lives of at least one shooting victim because of our rampant crime? They do this knowing that these victims will rarely say thank you or will you take my Blue Cross insurance? They do it because they took an oath to try to help all people. Because you are not taking on crime wave seriously. I believe this is in particular addressed to the mayor's office. We are having a lot of difficulty hiring and keeping doctors. You may recall that we had some prospective docs come to town looking at houses recently. When they woke up at their hotels and found 19 cars shot up and vandalized, they decided to look elsewhere. You are de facto defunding not only our police, but also our doctors. Not only are we losing MPD officers, but we are also losing good doctors. Below is a redacted letter I recently received. The medical community is very concerned, and we plan on having internal and external meetings to try to address this pandemic. MASA, I think that's the Medical Association Board, what a heck of a name. MASA President Amanda Williams, as well as Dr. Noble Anderson, are very concerned and are leading that charge. Please establish a real task force ASAP. Sheriff is the man who can make things happen. I don't know if Cunningham wants the job.
I'm with you on that, brother.
Time is not on our side. God bless Montgomery. David Thrasher, MD. Here's the redacted letter.
Okay.
It's from Anonymous. But it is an MD. David, I really appreciate you highlighting these crime issues in our community. I cringe daily reading the news about all the shootings, especially the shootout last night. There's a large nationwide physician shortage. Primary care is front and center in that shortage. Our group has had much more success recently hiring docs in Auburn, Opelika. We are in desperate need of more doctors on the ground in Montgomery. I'm not sure I can tell recruits with a straight face that Montgomery is a safe place to bring a family when my wife routinely tells me she doesn't feel safe driving around town and wants to move. I truly want to remain in Montgomery and see my 2 sons graduate from school here. But as they say, if mama ain't happy, nobody is happy. If this does not get under control soon, I'm afraid there is going to be a mass exodus of physicians and other prominent residents in our community who are desperately needed. I graduated from medical school and completed an internship at UMMC in Jackson, Mississippi. Montgomery is very similar to Jackson in many ways. In our current trajectory, we are going to be in the same situation with a near collapse of the tax base and no money for city services. My sister and brother-in-law still live there in Belhaven. One solution they found there that they have been pleased with is the expansion of the Capitol Police Force to cover most of Northeast Jackson. That was a drastic but necessary change. Not sure that would work here, but desperate times call for desperate measures. As you have said, this is a multifaceted issue. Keep turning the screws and applying the pressure to our city administration. I would love to see our current administration tackle these issues head on, but I am not sure there is the leadership in City Hall to see that happen. Our mayor seems more interested in elevating his national reputation than focusing on local issues. Thank you for your efforts. Regards, name redacted. You know, I personally know somebody. He's not a doctor, but this lovely woman he married, he now has kids with. He's a former roommate of mine. Used to call him EI. I'll leave it there. He and his family did incredibly well here in Montgomery. He wanted to be a millionaire by the time he was like 25, 26. Now, I don't know if it was actually liquid, but he pulled it off. And so he went around the world, met this beautiful woman. He thought, I'm going to come back after seeing the world, finding this woman, having kids. I'm going to come back and raise these kids of mine in the very town I grew up in. And he was asking me about it. And at the time, I'm like, I would love to have him come back. And plus, he's like, we'll set you up with like doctor friends. We get you dates and stuff. So I was a little selfishly invested. Well, he didn't make that move because he did his own research. And he saw, and his wife saw very quickly, we ain't raising people there. If we have a choice, we ain't going there. And it's a shame. Somebody who wanted to move back here, somebody who grew up here, who's found success in this world from being here, doesn't want to come back. Family members who, God bless them, are blessed, are doing well in life because they worked their tails off, number one. They're in Auburn. They're in Charlotte, North Carolina. They're in Lillian, Alabama on the coast.
They're in Wetumpka.
Yeah. Well, I don't really have much family in
Wetumpka. Getting out of
the
footprint.
I'm just saying people who have the means are going to leave. And you can continue to put out this idea that, no, this is just the politics of the past and it's because the election's coming up. And maybe some politicians are indeed playing that dirty game. But the killing on the streets must stop. You know, the mayor said right before he was reelected for a second term, this is our Montgomery now, not theirs. It's not your Montgomery. It's the people running the streets, Montgomery. And everybody now knows it. And is tired of it. And there are a lot of folks who kept their mouth shut for years because they wanted to see how it works out. Gave people the benefit of the doubt. And it's only getting worse and worse and worse.
He said it was our Montgomery. I just want to be clear.
Yeah.
Our Montgomery.
Not theirs.
Not theirs.
Okay. Theirs being law-abiding
And
citizens.
honestly, that's exactly the frickin' problem. And I know I'm not the only one. And I know it's not just a white perspective. And it's also funny how the black perspective always is just something to say about the white perspective. It's just nonsense. It's absolute ignorant nonsense. It's collectivist claptrap that grifters from government to holes of God have been using for decades to rip people off, act like they have compassion and care in their heart while they make bank. And the problem gets worse. As our state education system celebrates, oh, now 20% of kids in third grade are reading better. Like it's some big accomplishment.
An embarrassment.
The corruption is deep, and we all could do better. Every single individual person. But damn it, some folks just want to say, it's the other person's fault. I will say, if you signed up to run the city, if you signed up to be a leader in the city, and we got a lot of people who are career, who are good people. But I'm so freaking tired of seeing this. And I don't want to be part of the conversation that has been going on for 20, 30 years in this godforsaken town. Excuse me, pardon me. And in fact, I might join my family members someday before too long. Get the hell out of here. I don't want to. Kind of like being from here and staying here. One of the few in my class who did. So we'll see where it goes. But hey, I need to shut up. We all need to shut up. I need to hit a break.
You need to take a breath, but keep fighting, brother.
Anyway. Oh, I think there's a thing about Shashies here coming up. Y'all just listen in together.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Good day, Capital City. It's yours truly, DJ Fresh, broadcasting live for Blue Water Broadcasting. Live from Shashi's Bakery and Fine Foods right here at 1700 Mulberry Street. I'll be here until 12:30 this afternoon. Right now, we need your help and join us in our Operation Help and Hope. Right now, we're collecting items to go in the Chemo Comfort Care Bags that they offer cancer patients. We're looking for new and packaging Boost nutritional drinks, blankets, digital thermometers, pill boxes, puzzle books, etc. For more information, of course, you can always go to this station's website. That's right, the Cancer Wellness Foundation of Central Alabama serves cancer patients right here in the River region, and they give help and hope to those that need assistance on the road to recovery. And guess what? You can help make that happen. We do have a total of 4 sponsored locations that you can drop off items in the blue barrels. Of course, I'm here right now at Shashi's Bakery and Fine Foods at 1700 Mulberry Street until 12:30 today. Once again, for more information, go to this station's website. I'm DJ Fresh, broadcasting live for Blue Water Broadcasting.
Make 2024 the year you break away from the chain stores and join us here at Adams Drugs. We value your business and want to provide you the best customer service at the lowest possible price. We've been serving up excellent customer service here in the River region for over 62 years.
I made the swap to Adams Drugs and I couldn't be happier. Having a job and then getting 3 kids to all of their activities keeps me busy. I don't have an hour to waste waiting on a prescription. At Adams, they know me and my family. I get in and out in minutes, and when I can't get by Adams, they'll bring the prescription right to my door.
What are you waiting for? Come in to Adams Drugs and let us earn your business. Our friendly and personal staff will talk with you and answer any questions you may have about your prescriptions. Your satisfaction is our #1 goal. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net for the location nearest to you. Adams Drugs is your local independent Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
Hey folks, thank you for making CTE Outdoor Power a preferred dealer. and Hustler, one of the most popular riding mowers. Recently, I met a couple from Evergreen who discovered us because friends recommended both CTE and Hustler. They heard our team of friendly, helpful professionals would guide them to the Hustler model that's the best fit for them, and that because we support all the products we sell, we take the hassle out of future needed parts and service. They liked Hustler because of the highest quality and warranty, and that we partner with Hustler to offer 0% interest financing. Now, if you haven't discovered Hustler and CTE yet, now is the perfect time, because this month when you mention this ad, we'll pay the sales tax when you purchase any new riding mower. Folks, can you get all that anywhere else? CTE Outdoor Power, I-85 at Perry Hill Road, and CTEOutdoorPower.com.
I spray and scrub, but the soap scum in my bathtub is still there.
I spray and scrub, but the burnt sauce on my stovetop sticks around.
Sprays can leave grime behind, but new Mr. Clean Ultra Foamy Magic Eraser combines the scrubbing power of an eraser with the cleaning power of Dawn to melt away tough messes on contact.
Just wet, squeeze, and erase.
Stop spraying, start erasing, and clean with more magic than ever with new Ultra Foamy Magic Eraser.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
Broken bricks, falling fences, damaged doors? Gorilla Glue. Of course. It's incredibly strong and 100% waterproof and bonds, well, virtually everything. While you're at it, look for Gorilla Tape, a heavy-duty double-thick duct tape, and Gorilla Super Glue, great for all your quick fixes and repairs. There's also Gorilla Epoxy, Gorilla Wood Glue, Gorilla Construction Adhesive. Of course. You get it. If you can break it, Gorilla can fix it. For the toughest jobs on planet Earth.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
The Health and Wealth Show. The Health and Wealth Show. The show so nice, we said it twice. Weekday evenings at 6 on News Talk 93.1 WACV. The Health.
Make it up, son. Joke's over, hey?
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Montgomery Paint and Body. From a little fender bender to total body repair, MPB will fix it good as new, maybe better. For over 35 years, the Turner family has been getting you back on the road. Call 279-7325.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. The heat and humidity is locked in all week long again, with random storms here and there in the afternoon and evening hours for the most part. That's when they're most numerous. Some can put on quite a show, as you know. The actual high temperature today in the middle 90s with triple-digit heat indices, and really not much day-to-day change for the rest of the week and into the weekend. Lows at night will be in the mid-70s. Slow down, take it easy, stay hydrated. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Whether you're buying a home or auto or consolidating debt, CB&S Bank's personal loans get you where you need to go. Go to cbsbank.com to find a location near you or apply online today. All loans subject to credit approval, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
If it concerns your community, you'll hear about it on News Talk 93.1. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Man, we're talking about some juicy political intrigue off air, and we're going to keep it off air. Sorry, I'm not going to share everything we talk about. Welcome back to the program. Let's go right to the phones and talk to Simpler Days.
All right.
Hey, Simpler Days.
Hey, good afternoon. In regards to your caller yesterday and what you were talking about the what the doctor's saying, you can lose the people going to shop other places. You can lose people going to restaurants and other places. When you start losing doctors, neurosurgeons, and 50% of the nurses at Baptist South are traveling nurses, you got big time problems.
Yep.
Because when Joey or myself, if we have a heart attack or a serious medical injury, just like the senator did over the 4th, you want to have the best available. And you don't want to be waiting in a hallway in a lobby laying on a stretcher because they don't have a doctor available.
Oh, yeah.
Montgomery better wake up before it's too late. And the guest on there yesterday, Joey, he brought his best bait with him, and he cast out there, and he hooked. And he wanted to pull y'all into the boxing ring. And then he wanted to step back and play the victim card. And he's the one that brought up, and I've heard him on 2 or 3 different shows now, and he always does this. He brings up race, and then he backs off of it and says, oh, no, we need to work together, and we don't need to focus on race. Well, he's the one that brought it up. He's the one that brought up the white girl being shot on Atlanta Highway and the mob going down to City Hall, but they wouldn't do it for the blacks. He's the one that brought it up. And he continued along that line until he got a response. And the thing about his son, he said his son left the police department and went to the sheriff. And he said it's about the stress, it's about different things that his son left for. But he didn't say it was about money. But then he said money was going to fix everything. But it didn't. His son down there, his son didn't stay down there. But it was very enlightening to hear. And Joey, if you walked into your employer today and said, I can't do my job for what happened 40 years ago, how do you think that would fly?
Well, the Polish people have been through a lot, let me tell you, and I at least have a quarter claim to that. Generational depression. I appreciate the call, Simpler Days. Really.
Have a good day.
You too, brother.
272-9228. And, you know, I can rant and rave, but again, I will have anybody, most anybody on as a guest, within reason, you know. Don't want, like, Joe Biden on the show. Actually, that would be
solid.
That'd be a lot of fun.
That'd be solid.
They'd have to give me pre-scripted questions.
But that's fine. Just go off the script.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Let's go to Joe. Hey, Joe, how you doing?
Yeah, Joey, that conversation before the break, thank you. That situation has been sitting around, needed to be brought out and open for a long time. Did my heart good to hear it.
Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it.
I just wanted to let you know. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, sir. Let's go to Mr. Pink. Hey, Mr. Pink, how you doing?
How you guys?
I'm good. Actually, I'm better than I've ever been, but sometimes the BS just gets to you.
Man, I called, man. I was feeling you, man. Everything you said, I wanted to tell you that 10 years ago, but I never wanted to bring it up because I didn't want to take you away from the good people of Montgomery. Because you do a lot, and you don't even know it. Just what you're doing. But I've been wanting to just call you up and say, hey, man, when you going to the Carolinas or Colorado so I can move too? I'm serious, man.
Yeah, no.
I got 2 houses. I'm finna sell. I'm finna sell a Section 8 and stack up about 100,000 more. I'm gonna be happy, man. That's the same reason I left Montgomery, because of the schools, you know.
Yep.
It was terrible. It was terrible. Now my kids are in the best. So you got to do what you got to do, man. Are we done talking about the race?
No.
Oh, I'm talking about race, like race, black and white.
Oh, like no. I think the
conversation
is going to continue. I'm in a weird camp of a guy named Camille Foster came up with this race abolitionist. I think race should be about as important as like your astrological sign. It's not
and
at this point, but it should be.
It is. It just depends on how old you are.
Joe,
I'm 5 years older than you. When I was in middle school, my black friends and white friends, because I always went like 50-50 down here, we said exactly what you said. We just said, a lot of people got to die, black and white. And then we'll carry on. We know what to do. The kids can drive just fine. You know what I mean?
Right.
but it's like it's been a resurgence or something. Like it just, yeah, I felt like in the beginning of the year, let's say like, I guess 9/11 happened too, but I felt the change happen. You know, it's like, it wasn't even 9/11. It was just like the race thing had played. It's like it's gone. You know, it's like it died out. Like, you still talking about that? But it comes back so strong. That's why I don't like to call during election time, which seems like it's all the time. But yeah, man, I'm right there with you, man. Man, Eddie, I was gonna call and give you a hard time, but
that's all right.
I'm not, because I was gonna ask you, are you able to go to Chisholm?
Yeah, I'm pretty much the king of Chisholm.
I'm gonna call BS on that.
Come on, we'll go down there together.
I will. I'll take it to the bottom.
I'll show you my rental property.
What would be like a Royal Chalice in Chisholm?
Yeah, I tried to help a lot of people out in Chisholm, and like I say, out of 100 people, I might have changed maybe 2 people's lives, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, scout out some places in the Carolinas where my brother with that new baby girl is living, so I'd be happy to be your neighbor all day, every day, man.
All day, man, because the Carolinas, that's where it's at. My family, well, most of my kids and my girl's dad, they just got back to New Jersey, and they got family in North Carolina. They stopped there for about a week or so. But yeah, man, a lot of the good people, we already left. We graduated high school, and we left Alabama because even 20 years ago, Alabama was like I'm finna go out and explore. You know, I'm finna go, you know, find some people that's like-minded like me, you know. So all the people that's doing something, we all get out and go, you know. And the people that ain't doing nothing, they just stand there, man. So it might be time for you to get up out there because it's a setup. Believe it or not, it's a setup. Like, say I wanted to take over Blue Water, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just put some crack houses up, you know, get some shooting going on, get some thugs hanging out, and then, boom, building is gone. I can get it now, and I can do whatever I want to do. So it's a setup.
Yeah, some people will burn down the village and be king of the ashes.
Yeah, exactly. That's the flaw in the whole argument. Or, as soon as the crime element comes in and the businesses is destroyed, they're not coming back.
No, now they get new business, man. They already got it set up. And it's a big old club, and you ain't in it.
Well, I appreciate it, Mr. Pink.
Yes, sir, man. Yes, sir.
272-9228. Hey, this part of the program brought to you by Josh and Leslie Ryder there at Dillon Rings. Great folks at Dillon Rings. And today, Josh Ryder put out there on Instagram that they're celebrating what would have been his brother Ryan Ryder's 45th birthday on July 28th. That's when his 45th birthday would have been. So Dillon Rings is having a Christmas sale in July in honor of his brother. So you can kickstart your holiday shopping early by reserving items on layaway and enjoy discounts of 10% all the way up to 45%. 45% off on all in-stock items, 10 to 45%. So you got to go by there. You got to enjoy this Christmas and July sale. Really look at, okay, what do they have? Is there something maybe tie in? Maybe it's an everyday piece of jewelry. And Josh and Leslie are going to be there to help you make that right selection. And of course, they're a full service jewelry shop, from repairs to appraisals to custom design work. They can help you in that regard across the board. We'll tell you a little more about that in a little while later in the program. But y'all be sure to stop by there. 119 Brown Springs Road here in Montgomery. That's 119 Brown Springs Road, just off of Atlanta Highway. And be sure to tell Josh and Leslie that Joey, that fellow on the radio, sent you.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
I like what I like, and I do what I want.
Do what you want, be who you want, and elevate your game to fabulous at Wind Creek Atmore. Stay in our luxurious suites and rooms. Relax in the tranquil spa. Play any of our 1,700 exciting games on our spacious gaming floor. No matter what fabulous means to you, you'll find it here. Wind Creek Atmore. It's your kind of fabulous. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Join us tomorrow from 11:30 to 12:30 at Mobility Plus Millbrook, right off of Highway 14 near Food Outlet, as we are collecting items for our Operation Help and Hope benefiting new cancer patients via the Cancer Wellness Foundation of Central Alabama. Drop off your donation of new in packaging Chemo Comfort Care Bag items such as hard candy, fuzzy socks, puzzle books, lip balm, and Boost nutritional drinks.
News and talk without the static. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back to News and Views in the Afternoon, or as we're calling this thing online, Joey Clark Live. So there's so much that's been going on in the world other than what's happening in Montgomery, and we're not going to go back to Israel. I know it was a little heavy to start with Judge Napolitano that way.
Sure.
Is Douglas Murray right? If the genocide of the Jewish people would be the end of Western civilization?
What was that Israel or Iran leader? What did he say? The other day?
We want to be. He's the reformist. He's the reformer in Iran.
It's not Barat. Or Barak.
No. And he says that we in Iran, or Iran as they say,
Yes.
want to be friendly with all nations of the world except for Israel.
See, that's the one thing that I don't understand is like how do people actually convince themselves that there's going to be peace with these people when before recorded time, like
it's a
they were throwing
facade
rocks
though.
at each other.
They're saying I'm peaceful people. I just hate them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, other than that, very peaceful.
Oh yeah,
I'd kill them if I had the chance, but I'm very peaceful.
Well, and
No,
I
you're
am definitely in the, because you can hear, I've watched so many debates, like 2, 3, 4 hour debates on this topic in the last several months, just trying to get all perspectives. And I think there is a lot of sins on both sides of this, a lot. But at a certain point, you're like, okay, how are we going to solve it? That said, we're not going to solve it here today on this show. Of course, there's a new AARP poll, which is fitting for President Biden. He's not doing well.
Is it on comfort of diapers?
Yeah, the olds are not happy with how old he is.
No, not at all.
That's, again, an AARP poll reacting from that debate. The knives continue to be out within the Democratic Party. Apparently, they had a big, powwow, or you can't say it that way these days. Big get-together.
Shindig?
Yeah.
Okay.
If it was in the heat of Andalusia, Alabama, they might have called it a hootenanny.
Ooh.
But it was in the cool, dank, probably fluorescent lighted, halls of Congress, one of their office meetings.
Mm-hmm.
And people came out, like AOC came out and said, it's clear now Biden's the nominee. He's our guy. And then there are other folks saying, we ain't on the same page at all. It's just, it is Act 2 of 2024 America is the plot to get rid of Biden. And it is, will they pull it off? I don't know. The old man might hold on.
Man, this is so comical to me. It's like this was unfolding before everyone's eyes for a year and a half or two. Kudos to his team for keeping him in the basement and not letting too many people understand exactly how bad it is. But you can't hide this under the limelight. And they gave him enough opportunities, and he the rest of the Democrats saw what most of us have been seeing, and now it's just
are you telling me that none of these people ever saw this in the last couple of years?
Right. That's what's so amazing to me.
That's what really
they
ticks me off.
But their position at the trough was too important.
Right. But now they're forced to go, because y'all saw it too. This is the first time I really ever saw this, and I'm outraged.
To his point, the way they function is they have a great position at the trough, but they realize, okay, the head farmer, Farmer Joe, is so bad at this, the trough's not going to be filled up anymore. We got to now make sure we get a new farmer that can keep us, feeding
But
the
if
pigs.
we know that as voters.
Yeah, but voters forget after a short time.
How can you forget this?
Have you met people?
Yeah, I mean, I can go through a litany of things and be like, yep, that person survived after this.
And we got to hit this top of the hour break, but a quick disclaimer, I'm not going to name anybody in particular, but there are some of you who listen in to this radio show, and you're too stupid to listen.
Oh, no.
You're hurting yourself. Stop listening in. You're too stupid to listen.
Is it like that scene from White Man Can't Jump? You can listen to Jimmy, but you can't hear Jimmy. He got the words backwards, you know. It's supposed to you can hear, but you can't listen to it.
Yeah, I'm just saying there are some folks who are too stupid to listen to what I say on the radio, and certainly too stupid to read certain things I write, as much as it is up my own ass and kind of purple sometimes. So just don't stop hurting yourself and go about your merry way. I don't need everybody to listen and like me. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. More than 2.3 million homes and businesses around Houston lacked electricity as of this morning. As that stifling heat is now rising, Beryl is forecast to bring heavy rains and possible flash flooding from the lower and mid-Mississippi Valley to the Great Lakes into Wednesday. The Federal Reserve faces a cooling job market, as well as persistently high prices. That's according to Chair Jerome Powell. Speaking before the Senate Banking Committee earlier, Powell not giving any clear indication on the timing for when the Fed might be making its first rate cut. On Wall Street, stocks are fluctuating. The Dow is ahead 72 points, the Nasdaq losing 8, and the S&P is up 6. This is SRN News.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-606-4110. 800-606-4110. Again, that's 800-606-4110.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Alabama Wholesale Lumber. Alabama Wholesale Lumber, the best quality building materials in the river region for decades. From common builds to special orders and local delivery. Call Alabama Wholesale Lumber.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. The heat and humidity is locked in all week long again, with random storms here and there in the afternoon and evening hours for the most part. That's when they're most numerous. Some can put on quite a show, as you know. The actual high temperature today in the middle 90s with triple-digit heat indices, and really not much day-to-day change for the rest of the week and into the weekend. Lows at night will be in the mid-70s. Slow down, take it easy, stay hydrated. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Have the best looking lawn in the neighborhood with help from Capital Tractor. Wet Bobo here. Don't miss our Buy a Mower, Get a Blower sale going on now. Buy any Kubota mower on our lot and get a Stihl handheld blower absolutely free. Kubota and Capital Tractor, Montgomery, Brundage, and Greenville.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, here's today's top stories. The U.S. Department of Justice filed a statement of intent Monday to join in a lawsuit by Alabama prisoners. The inmates claim they are subjected to unconstitutional levels of violence and excessive force. The Alabama Department of Corrections has disputed the allegations and will file a response later this month. A man has been killed after crashing a pickup truck in Autauga County. 58-year-old William Donaldson was driving the truck when it left the road and hit a tree early Monday morning. The wreck happened on County Road 57, about 3 miles north of Prattville. Donaldson was not wearing a seatbelt and died at the scene of the accident. Over $1 billion and thousands of valuable items are stored in Alabama's unclaimed property vault, waiting to be claimed by their rightful owners. The list of unclaimed items is updated regularly, and it takes less than 5 minutes to check. Simply go to treasury.alabama.gov and click on Unclaimed Property. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
If you're new to Medicare, the ins and outs can be complicated. At Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Alabama, our local advisors are here to help answer your questions, and we're here to help you find a Medicare plan that fits your needs. Visit bcbsalmedicare.com or call 1-844-627-5612. Now, Medicare, that's focused on you. Blue Advantage is a PPO with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Blue Advantage PPO depends on contract renewal.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group with an update on the real estate market in the River region. Sales of homes for the last 5 months will top 1,900 homes. Even though sales are slightly lower, the average sales price is still climbing. First-home homebuyers comprise over 34% of all sales, with no slowdown in sight for them. We now have more homes on the market in all price ranges, which gives buyers more choices than they've had in over 2 years. Some helpful suggestions for today's homebuyer would be: 1. Work with a local lender for your loan approval. 2. List 3 must-haves for your new home and seek to find properties to match your needs. 3. Work with an experienced and knowledgeable real estate agent to help you with your search, your showings, and receive advice on offers and negotiations. 4. Always use a licensed recommended home inspector when you find the home you choose. For all the details, call Bo Goodson at the Goodson Group at 221-2883 or 551-0225.
Hi, this is Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop. Listen every Saturday to Winning Wellness and learn from experts in different fields of science and technology how nutritional supplements can help you.
Listen to Winning Wellness every Saturday at 10 a.m.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. For Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. It's News and Views in the afternoon, or as we're calling this thing online, Joey Clark Live. And we've got a few comments rolling in online on the live stream. And Romex Angler said a little while ago, I tune in every day to hear BS. The world is full of it, Joey, but that's the sign of you getting older. The BS gets more noticeable with age.
Is he talking about my initials?
Your initials?
BS.
Well, that is. Well, if the bra fits. No, I love you, man. Like, I definitely want you to call from Wisconsin.
I was just trying to fall on the sword a little bit there.
Yeah, I know. And then I helped you. I pushed you.
Yeah.
I apologize dearly. Eddie Ingram says, Eddie, you did right yesterday. I couldn't have stayed either. Gumtown John, my old roommate, says, who's going to the town hall Mayor Hollywood Reed is putting on at AUM tonight?
Oh, you better have turned in your questions, like a month ago?
Ooh, listen.
You can do a virtual seat, though.
I want to know, please, someone ask the mayor how many funerals he's actually attended this year of the victims. That's what I want to know.
That's a damn good question.
I think you know the answer.
Romex Angler says, well, you could have just asked me to go away. You didn't have to call me stupid. Well, I mean, again, the bra fits, or the shoe fits. I get that term
He's
mixed
not
up.
that stupid. He's not.
Romex Angler?
No, not at all. I mean, we all have our moments.
Hold on.
But...
What would the mayor's excuse be for not attending something as tragic as the funeral like that?
I had an anti-violence meeting.
Too busy recruiting a new police chief, recruiting new businesses. I mean, seriously, what's he doing?
But like the conference of mayors.
Oh, okay.
And we got to get the federal dollars from Buttigieg to make the roads to get the EV charging station.
What is the kind of relationship they have?
You know, before we move on from Montgomery, I was reminded of something that I sent to Greg Budell. I hope he plays it later, and it's a whole video and whatnot. But I just want to read This was from a District 2 town hall meeting last night. It was held by Councilwoman Julie Beard. 911 calls not being answered.
Yep.
That was the most common question at tonight's town hall meeting. Now, when I've done these with Grimes, it used to be panhandling.
Right.
Was the most common question. And we've noticed in the past few years, it's not people just going, what about panhandling? And some bring up the halfway houses and all that stuff. Like, it's interesting what folks are really on the ground seeing the issues. It is now shifted to, I can't get into 911. Well, this question, to his credit, Robert Fortner addressed the question. He's the director of the 911 call center.
Okay.
He says that between July 1st and July 7th, they had over 6,000 calls. And they only have approximately 3 dispatchers. They're looking to hire, all right. It might be a pretty steady gig here in this city. The only qualification is you have to be able to type and go through a training course, ages 18 to 75 allowed.
There you go.
Holy crap. And when you look under the hood, we don't have enough people operating an ambulance.
Right.
Like, just across the board on these basic services, people don't want to do these gigs.
No.
Well, that just gives some perspective. Like, on that one, I'm not necessarily... I give Robert Fortner credit for standing up there and answering questions from the
all
public
day
in
long.
that
'Cause
way.
you know he's going to be under the gun. But is that not 911 calls? Is that not something you can get a service center on or something? I mean, every time, well, I can't even say that because every time I call Alabama Power, I don't get them.
So was it 6,000 total or 6,000 unanswered?
No, just like
6,000
6,000 calls.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did he?
No, and I've heard that, like, if you don't get through, people will call back because, I mean, clearly if you call that, it's an emergency, occasional mistakes, I'd imagine.
Right.
But, yeah, I wonder what the error rate is. Of those 6,000 calls, how many are just false alarms or people messing around?
Just guessing, probably a third.
I would think so. Easy.
Well, we should have them arrested. Yeah, right. Line 1, you're on there. Who's this?
Red Top. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Hey, Red Top.
And as always, Joseph Napolitano is good, and his show on Newsmax is extremely good. This man, he'd make a hell of an attorney general or secretary of state. And Joey, I wouldn't be surprised to see you on there as a guest one day on Newsmax. Wouldn't that be fun?
Sure. Yeah, I'll jump on cable news. Sure.
Yeah, you would in a minute.
I
dress you up fine.
Newsmax is open to the public, man, and you ain't watching it. You need to watch at least Judge Knapp Freedom Files every day.
See, I just feel like if I got on one of those big shows, I could not behave myself. Like in the middle of being interviewed by, what's like Stitchfield? Is he still on there?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, being interviewed by Stitchfield, he'll be like, Mr. Clark, why are you wincing? Oh, the hemorrhoids are acting up again, Stitch. I can't handle it. It's like, I couldn't be serious. Like, it just...
You would find it. You could find it. For a few minutes, I think you'd be.
You do fine, Joey. We got faith in Joey. We know you're going to be up there one day. And the point Judge Napolitano brings out about Israel and the fighting people, and let me sidetrack just for a minute to talk about the draft and people fighting in armies. That ain't going to happen in Europe. Those young Europeans are not going to join the army. They don't want to. And let me tell you, and I've been to Europe, and Eddie has too, what Europeans do at 5 o'clock in the afternoon is they're not working. Nobody works 2 jobs in Europe that I could find. And they're going to sit down and eating lunch and eating a big supper and drinking fine wine. That's what Europeans do. And so they're not going to be fighting.
Though people are now posting because of the election results in France, where the Macron ruling party made a deal with the socialist hard left and was able to beat back the populist right. But you remember the opening scene from Team America World Police, where it's the little boy, and they're like, little French boy in France today, and it's like, yep, that's about right.
Now, back to the subject of the police and the dispatchers and all that. We've got our job priorities upside down. They need to raise the salary to a policeman to $100,000, and to the person who's sitting at the damn computer terminal doing nothing all day long, down to $40,000. Because who's doing a necessary job? This guy doing nothing at the computer, or somebody who's out there risking his life? Just like, I bet these people, these dispatchers, get paid almost nothing. And then they take out taxes, Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, Joe Biden's grandmother's retirement, whatever it is. These people making nothing. They got to pay more, man. And then now to get rid of all these damn administrators that make all the money but don't do a damn thing.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yes. I was just letting you rant, but
legitimate sense.
I appreciate it, Red Top.
Roll Tide, go Trump, and Alabama's got a bizarre football schedule. First 3 games of Auburn probably ain't gonna be fun. You guys, good luck to them.
Wait, I didn't even see this. Like, who does Auburn have the first 3 games?
California, New Mexico, and the first one is this ambulance coming down Island Avenue. I forgot, but you look it up.
Okay, I'll look it up.
All right.
Thank you.
See you, bud.
Let's go to line 3. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, Joe, it's Sam.
Hey, Sam.
Eddie.
Hey, buddy.
Good afternoon. I'm standing here watching the cloud roll up, so I'll be brief. I just want to remind everyone that on your, if you got a cell phone, on your bill, you pay a 911 tax, $2.25 a month. It is now. I think it might be. Anyways, but yeah.
$24 a year. There are taxes and then there are
every
taxes.
single person, because every single person
I
has
know,
a cell phone.
But there's just remove the federal income tax. I'll be much happier.
Me too.
I'll pay the 911 garbage fee all day, every day.
Right.
I'm just saying, there's a lot of cell phones. That money's available. It's not even funny. It's just absolutely not funny. Hey, let's break out. Hello, what year NWA came out? 911 is a joke in your town. That's some sad that it's gotten here, man.
That was Public Enemy.
PE.
Public Enemy. Yes. Oh, Public Enemy.
Don't tell me you think they all sound alike.
Public Enemy.
Joey, I try not to stir up too much racket on your show.
Yeah, I just don't want you to get in trouble.
No, man, listen. Hey, come on. I'm out here doing the best I can, scratching and scraping. I got this transmission fluid from this dang lawnmower in my mouth, and I'm listening to your show, and you're helping me get by, brother. You help me keep, yeah. You're the one, Joey, that's helping me keep it on the track. So I'm in trouble. What can I say?
Mm-hmm.
Hello?
Please, if you start talking about Samantha, I'm going to be very upset.
Be careful with that tranny.
I appreciate it, Sam. I do.
Shit. Listen, she.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Sam.
See you, Sammy.
So what you doing later on tonight, Joe?
First 3, we got California, Alabama A&M, and then we have New Mexico.
Right, that's easy.
All right. But, it'll be a new thing for us.
Does Auburn have one of the big new teams like Oklahoma, Texas?
I'll go back and look. I don't think so.
That'd be a fun game to go to, like in Jordan-Hare. One of those, expecting us to lose, but
right.
For instance, I went to last year's Iron Bowl.
Yeah.
And hadn't been in years.
Yeah, but Joey,
that
was the Iron Bowl of Iron Bowls.
That was amazing. I was very heartbroken, of course, but that was a lot of fun to be at.
I'm convinced that that's half the reason. Well, not this is tongue in cheek, but a majority of the reason Saban retired was he finally had a good night in Auburn. He was like, I'm not tempting fate. I know when to get up and walk away.
We do got Oklahoma on my birthday, September 28th.
Well, prepare to be outclassed by fans. They have some of the nicest fans in the country.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
All
right. To that.
Bama gets to play those other major heavyweights from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, this part of the program?
Yeah.
Brought to you by Cole Plumbing. Y'all know about Cole Plumbing, right?
I know Cole Plumbing very well.
Like they have that proprietary pipe lining technology that allows them with minimal discomfort to get in your home to solve the issue. So you got a leak inside or outside. That means with this tech, they aren't going to have to dig up a huge hole in your yard, tear out a bunch of drywall inside the home, which is a big muddy mess in and of itself. But of course, it can also help you with everyday plumbing problems, from clogged drain to low water pressure. Maybe it's something like tree root invasion. Ooh. And it's not, there are things they can help with that you don't usually think of with plumbing, like a gas line leak.
Oh, yeah.
For instance, they can help you with that. Or maybe you're just looking to upgrade and are looking to install a tankless water heater or a brand new taller toilet. Maybe even a bidet.
Nothing wrong with that.
So check them out today. That's Cole Plumbing. I'm just seeing, I wanted to pause and let the bidet line sizzle a little bit and look at Eddie.
I feel like they've missed an opportunity there. Instead of bidet, shouldn't it be like bidet?
Yeah,
it can be if you turn on the hot water.
Yeah, but look at how the French are now.
Pressure.
Yeah.
Y'all check out Cole Plumbing today. You can always go to coleplumbing.com or give them a call, 279-8919. That's 279-8919. And just remember, folks, when you have trouble with your bowl,
call on Cole, Joey.
So, we got talking about the phenomenon of like the entire press corps all of a sudden figured out that Joe Biden is old and is on the verge of demence if he isn't already in the throes of it.
Or he's just sick, depending on what campaign.
That's right. He had a cold.
Right. Yeah. He's
had a cold.
He's just sick. He was over prepared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I've been over prepared. Never like that.
How do I feel today? I haven't read the memo.
How dare Jake Tapper and Dana or however the hell you say that woman's name, how dare they ask fair questions?
Well, do you think that he got a copy of the questions?
Probably.
I know, that's the thing. I think he did, and it's still how
and it
bad
sounded like he was memorizing and
Yes.
just regurgitating what he wrote memorized. Yeah,
I
was my
swear,
thought.
They weren't supposed to have notes. He was looking down
Yep.
a lot.
Yep. Well, and I think it was him just remembering. Like, I think that's what the 7 days was, to just pump him full of facts and figures and propaganda and just go out there and regurgitate it. And
that was a big fail.
Of course, can you imagine the staff behind the scenes going, "We beat Medicare? Really? Yeah, and you beat it to death. Wait, you said we beat Medicare? What are you talking about, Joe?"
That room was really quiet, really somber, and someone turned to someone else and said, "You're blanking fired."
Oh, I'm sure.
Whoever
I'm sure.
it was that agreed and said, "Oh yeah, we'll trounce him."
But let's go to the White House press corps.
All right.
This stupid talk about like high school, like how Mean Girls works. That's the White House press corps.
I see.
Like it is high school. The way these folks operate. To your point earlier, Byron, just feeding at the trough. And now they're realizing, the slop is going to dry up here because old Joe is slopping himself. If that makes any sense. I don't even know what that means.
Slap at Joe?
Slap at Joe.
For some reason with him it makes
Slap at
sense.
Joe.
Yeah.
But here is, the press corps getting a little feisty with Mean Corinne Jean.
Oh, yeah.
Let's listen in, brother.
Hold on. Wait a second.
Eight times, or at least once, in regards to the president specifically.
Hold on a
Not
second.
what you should be able to answer by this point.
Wait, no. No, wait a minute.
And so the guy's getting all that. The nerd who's
Little-
upset
yeah.
is Ed
Little house
O'Keefe of CBS.
Ed?
Really?
Please.
Ed.
A little respect here, please. So every year around the president's physical examination, he sees a neurologist. That's 3 times, right? So I am telling you that he has seen a neurologist 3 times while he has been in this presidency. That's what I'm saying. I'm telling you that he has seen them 3 times. That is what I'm sharing with you.
Okay.
Right? So every time he has
what'd
a
they discuss?
physical, he has had to see a neurologist. So that is answering that question.
No, it's not.
No, it is. It is. You're asking me.
Kevin Kennard, come to the White House.
But I also said to you, Ed, I also said to you, for security reasons, we cannot share names.
What?
We cannot share names. We have to.
Others he would have met with.
We
but
cannot
you can share names in regards to if someone came here in regards to
we
the
cannot
president.
share. We cannot share names of specialists broadly, from a dermatologist to a neurologist. We cannot share names. There are security reasons. We have
They
to
release
we
people's
have to
names
protect-
all the time.
I understand
With
that.
intent.
I hear
It's
you.
right there for anyone to see.
Ed, I hear you. I cannot from here confirm any of that because we have to keep their privacy.
Oh.
I think they would appreciate that too.
Nah.
We have to give them.
Patient or the doctor?
The patient or the Ed O'Keefe.
Yeah.
It's like, where was this 2-3 years ago, Ed?
Well, they let him out.
But he goes on a rant
We have
himself.
to keep their privacy.
It's public information.
I hear you.
I hear you.
Allow this to fester longer, Kareem, unless the White House answers the
hold on a second. There's no reason to go back and forth and be in this aggressive way.
Miffed around here about how information's been shared with the press corps about him.
What do you miss about? What do you miss
Everything
about?
he just asked about.
And then every time I come back and I answer the question that you guys
answered it
asked.
correctly, didn't have to come back and clean
I
up.
never answered the question incorrectly. That is not true. I was asked about a medical exam. I was asked about a physical. That was in the line of question that I answered. And I said, no, he did not have a medical exam. And I still stand by that. Matter of fact, the president still stands by that. He had a verbal check-in. That is something that the president has a couple times a week. A couple times a week.
Now in regards to Dr. Kevin Kennard.
And I am telling you.
It's like it goes on and on. The whole press conference is that way.
I want to see like our, they have question time in Britain. I think it's Sunday nights or Wednesday. They move it on, leadership or whatnot.
Oh, in Britain.
I want to see alcohol introduced to the press briefings.
Oh my! And put it uncensored on Netflix.
Yeah, that would be very interesting.
Yeah.
No, I think president should answer live, uncensored on Netflix, like a series of questions. Like we're going to do an uncensored town hall. So, Joe Biden, what the F are you doing to this country? Like, you just need, like, the everyday Joe just letting it out there, talking how everyday people talk. I think that would be a beautiful thing to behold. What were you saying, Byron, that when these folks get a little drunk, they get a little feisty?
I just think it would be, not that this wasn't entertaining. Most of them are kind of dull and...
It was a little nerdy. It's like, I'm so miffed.
Yeah, man, I know people that like this is their dream job just to be that person, but I just want to see the press corps get a little bit more courage in some of the questions and not be so respectful.
Well, and also, like, again, they're acting like we just realized this at the debate.
Right. We're trying to figure it out right now.
I don't know who the doctor was. If I knew, I'd go ask him why in the hell he said he was fit to serve, like,
right. And then add to this the whole, like, the special counsel, HUR, who said, yeah, he's probably committed a lot of crimes, but he's kind of a feeble-minded old man.
But we can't get that audio release, can we?
No.
We're holding that back, right?
Yeah, but Biden yesterday,
For security
I wish we had gotten to this yesterday. Biden yesterday was going nuts. Like, he didn't do himself any favors. Oh, shut up for a second, Joe. This is on Morning Joe. This is Joe Biden in friendly territory trying to make the case that he still can be the nominee and the next president and all that good stuff.
Didn't happen. I was predicting beforehand it would not happen because I've got a pretty good political instinct and eye. And here's the deal. It's not going to happen here this time around. The American public is not going to move away from me as an average voter. And again, I'm here for two reasons, pal.
Yeah.
One, to rebuild the economy for hardworking middle-class people, give everybody a shot.
Yeah.
Just a straight
Vaccine?
shot. Everybody gets
A
a
vaccine.
fair chance. Number one. Number two, remember all this talk about how I don't have the black support? Come on, give me a break. Come with me. Watch. I'm getting so frustrated by the elites. Now, I'm not talking about you guys, but about the elites in the party who they know so much more. But if any of these guys don't think I should run against me, go ahead, announce for president. Challenge me at the convention. On Europe, the polls are wrong in France. They're also right. There's no right wave or tide here in America either. By the way, in case you're wondering whether there is one, have you ever seen Trump run away so fast from what he's for? You know he's going to do it anyway. But he's such a liar. This guy everybody knows what they're planning to do. And now he's saying, no. This guy is going to rip away at a woman's right to choose in a permanent way. This guy is going to make sure that he exacts revenge. This guy's going to destroy democracy. This guy's going to give a blank check to the Supreme
Even Joe and Mika are sighing.
Court and going to use its past, the 2025 agenda. This guy's extremely dangerous. But you notice he doesn't speak up for what he really is for. He's all of a sudden realizing, oh my God, nobody's for what I'm for.
No, maybe you're just lying about his position. Like he's
That's
been
an easy
asked
thing to
point
do.
blank many a time, would you say sign a national abortion ban? And he said no.
No.
In multiple forums. And then what does he always say with the whole revenge thing? Vengeance, like, my revenge will be my success, folks. It'll be our success. Because they're not after me, they're after you, and I'm just in their way.
I think the ad to run would just be, hey, we know that he might win, but we all know that he's not going to be able to finish.
Yeah.
Ooh. And sometimes that's more disappointing than not even doing it.
Well, who do you put up the picture if he's not going to finish as his picture fades away? What picture you
It
put up
just
there?
fades away to
Just
uncertainty.
uncertainty, even better.
Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's us?
Hola.
Hey, Eric.
How y'all doing?
Right.
You know, Joe, and I know y'all trying to move on, but I watched that interview yesterday, and I had to watch it in 2 increments. I couldn't watch it all at one time because I wanted to I had to calm down my inner desires, my initial response. That is,
The undisclosed desires of your heart.
yeah, I had to. I don't like feeling like that. I don't want to be like that.
Good muse song.
But when somebody just out and out is that was some of the most racist things I've ever heard in my life. And I mean unapologetically. What I got from that is white people, or the white perspective is only welcome as far as it goes towards outrage, and then we're not allowed to say anything else. And I don't know if we're supposed to get out a checkbook, or I don't know what we were supposed to learn from that. Like, what do we do to be better? You know, because clearly our perspective is all jacked up, and that's not how I feel. That dude. I would have done what Eddie would have done, or I'd have been fired. That's just, I don't mind having a conversation, but you can't say that racist stuff and then just act like you're not talking about color. Why do we have to talk about color? Why is it always color? Because you keep bringing it up. You're saying the reason we ain't having this stuff is because of how it used to be back in the old days and stuff. Dude, I don't think police are bouncing people off of police cars because of the color of their skin. I just don't think it. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I'm sick of this color conversation. It all boils down to this, and it's all one-sided, and it's all because of how one group looks at the other group is the reason that the other group is having the problems that they're having. That's ignorant, and I'm tired of it. But I do appreciate you.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, and I would say that the fundamental, I think, flaw, almost philosophically, the flaw is that if you want to judge people by content and character, you have to judge them based on their individuality and the character they show, and you have to give people the benefit of the doubt. Don't just assume their motives are bad or they're operating in bad faith. And yet we still have a society and culture, whether it's over, I'm a Democrat, I'm a Republican, or I'm black, I'm white, that just denies people's individuality and assumes the worst about them because you're part of a different group. And until you get over that, which you probably won't because it's kind of part of human nature, it's going to get worse.
Yeah, that's that's a real fear, and that guy kind of gives an insight as to how leadership, at least for where that guy's from in his 30 years, that's how leadership and the people he hangs around, that's how they think about the city. What he said yesterday were his feelings about how the city runs. So what are we supposed to do? I mean, I would say that the voter turnout, you got the voting booth, well, that's a joke. Only 20% of the people show out, 20,000 people out of 200,000, 10% turnout, whatever it was, for the election. And he's not all to blame. The mayor is not the only one to blame. There's
Right.
plenty of blame to go around. But, I mean, at some point, when you're the guy leading the circus, you're responsible.
Yeah.
And you're not making good choices. And if you are making good choices, we haven't seen the consequences of those good choices yet. I mean, this is getting worse and worse.
Yes.
And it's because of our white perspective is the reason it's getting worse. What are we supposed to do? Close our eyes and not say anything? Then we get in trouble for not being outraged when something happens in the black community. Give me a break. We don't like any of it.
Yeah,
Nobody does.
It's a classic kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Well, you know what Twain said. Don't argue with a fool. Somebody else might not know the difference, or something like that. You heard what I meant? Huh?
No, I thought you were about to pull the old Sean Connery joke from Celebrity Jeopardy. Well, I forgot the joke, but your mother's a whore.
Let it snow.
That Sean Connery school of accent. This is my Spanish accent. Get over here, Carlos.
Oh, yeah, and Highlander. It's like, oh, appreciate the call, Eric.
All right, y'all.
See you, dog.
272-9228.
That's therapist for 600.
Let's go to line 3. You're on there. Who's this?
Now I'm going to speak French. Parlez-vous français?
Durka.
Oh,
How you guys doing?
pretty good, man. What's happening with you?
Hey, remember how crazy the Democrats and the media went when they found out that in the last year or so of Reagan's presidency, it was beginning to have dementia?
Good point.
What do you bet that Joe Biden was one of those outraged Democrats who, because it was the old, he had the nuclear code, oh my gosh, what would have happened to us, kind of a thing. But I'll guarantee you that Joe Biden was one of those outraged Democrats that were demeaning Reagan's legacy.
Of course.
After he had left office.
No doubt.
And then they all go to the funeral and like, he was such a wonderful man.
Yep.
It's like, you people are the worst.
They are,
Even the ones I like, y'all suck.
They're so self-absorbed in their own self-righteousness. It's just
But then they have to
the
deal with the public all the time, so I kind of get it.
Yeah. But I'm just it's hilarious watching the media suddenly like wake up from a drunken slumber for 3.5 years and realize that the guy who's throwing the party isn't got it all together.
Right.
And and watch Karine Jean, try to somehow, schmooze these people still, and they're finally not having it. It's nice to see that the Democrats are getting a taste of their little own medicine.
What was the famous woman who dated that old man? I'm trying to think. Like Anna Nicole Smith?
Yes.
Yeah. The media is
the
Anna
oil
Nicole
billionaire.
Smith. Yeah.
Yeah. And, if
I don't
you
want to see what
remember-
happens by after hours.
Yeah, after the old man died, he left, I think, a big chunk of his fortune, if not all of it, to her. And his kids. man,
They tied that
went
sucker up in
nuts.
court, man. Yeah. But have you
So,
seen her
I never
daughter?
knew what happened with that.
No.
I'm not
Yeah.
sure
What about her
the end
daughter?
result
Is she
was
over
with
18?
that, but
I don't know, but she's not.
Well, I'm not going to answer that question.
Yeah, they tried to hide her from like the public for a while, but somebody, a
Yeah.
manager of some sort, got a hold of her and started putting her out there.
Just the relationship that Biden and the Democrats are now having seems much more to do with that.
Oh yeah.
Pick whatever analogy you want.
yeah,
Or
I mean, it's
multiple
always
analogies.
been incestuous, but now it's like reached the point of Jessica White incestuous.
Well, and you're like, and these folks are like, look, we're calling them out now. I'm like, you've been
Right.
stooping pop for years. Nobody's liked it. Now you're acting like you're the saint here.
Why are we upset with them? I've been saying
That's because
this
it's
for-
performative. I like
know,
having a
but
fun time.
I-
Just
I've
pointing
been,
it out.
I've been saying this for a while,
Yeah,
man.
I'm not that upset with
Whenever the
I am.
Democrats start brushing their teeth in the morning and they get all mad and upset that Joe Biden's the president, you're looking at who's responsible for that. It's you.
Yeah.
It's not, the people pulling the strings. Y'all bought into all this.
Well, no, it's your fault, you MAGA fascists, because you
Yeah.
put Trump up. So we had to go with an old man.
Yeah, and the media is suddenly, got this faux self-righteousness that, see, we really are journalists, and we do call people out. And it's like, yeah, after how many years of between the Obama administration and now Biden, did you have this, incestuous relationship where anything, could go and nothing was ever called out? So, it's just, it's satisfying, but at the same time, it's disgusting.
Yeah.
So, have a good one, guys.
Appreciate it, David.
Thanks, Dave.
And I do have to hit a break here. But in a second, as a preview, we hadn't played one senator in a while. And as much as, we say all these things about politicians,
Yeah.
you can enjoy the theater.
Of
And
course.
so as all this is going down, I didn't know until I saw him like, put this right in my veins. Senator John Kennedy on Joe Biden when we come back.
Okay.
Because that guy's always got a good way of putting the words together, so to speak. This is part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services. And they're at Pest Pro. Ashley and that great team are ready to help you with, all your pest control needs. It could be you need a specific job done, like mosquito treatment.
Exactly.
Or termite treatment, or just termite inspection. Or it could be there's a massive wasp nest, which we need to check the walls in here. I don't want that, what happened on Wednesday, Byron, a massive wasp just appeared above our heads as the stone shook.
It was
I was
so
like,
massive.
Ashley, where's Pest Pro?
True story. I got into a car wreck one time at about 4 or 5 miles per hour. I was parked and had my window cracked a little bit.
When you come in?
Dude, that's the stuff of nightmares.
My buddy was at the corner store in Tuscaloosa. He was going in and getting one of the amazing fountain drinks with the best ice ever. And if you went to Tuscaloosa at a certain period of time, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Wasp flew in. I hopped out of the car. The car was not in park, and it slowly rolled into another car. So, yes, I've gotten into an accident because of a wasp before.
So if you want to avoid the wasp, the termites, and mosquitoes, or you're just looking for an everyday pest control company.
Burn them all.
That you can trust. Have Pest Pro Services burn them all for you. That number 265-9990. That's 265-9990. Or you can always go to ppsriverregion.com or just search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces. When you want to know, call a pro. Pest Pro Services. And be sure to tell Ashley and that great team that Joey and Eddie and Byron, those fellows on the radio, sent you.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
It's that time of the year. Come to think of it, it's that time of the year all the time at Larry Puckett Chevrolet. They're always offering a way to save you money on Chevrolets. The red tag sale continues. Save on the 2024 Silverado 1500 Crew Cab LT, the 2024 Chevy Blazer EV LT, and the 2024 Chevy Equinox EV 2-liter. Costco members get $1,000 toward the purchase of the 2023-24 Silverado 1500, a grand towards a 2024 Blazer EV LT. If you have a student headed off to college and they need a good, reliable vehicle, shop Larry Puckett today. Their new and pre-owned inventory is as big as anyone's in the area. Bring your extra used car in and let them make you a cash offer. Larry Puckett always lets their customers do the talking about the great prices, selection, and service. Stop by the dealership on Cobbs Ford Road in Prattville as the red tag sale continues. Call them at 334-285-9300 or shop them online at larrypuckett.com.
Hey guys, this is Todd Clark with River Region Contracting, your premier roofing contractor in Central Alabama. So remember the name, River Region Contracting, for all your roofing needs. We're not affiliated with any other roofing company in the River Region. We've been in the roofing business since 2005. We don't have to buy our leads, and we don't have to knock on doors when the storms come around. We have thousands of satisfied customers throughout Central Alabama. So call us at 334-356-8635. That's 334-356-8635.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values.
The Health and Wealth Show. The Health and Wealth Show. The show so nice, we said it twice. Weekday evenings at 6 on News Talk 93.1 WACV. The Health.
Break it up, son. Joke's over, hey?
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Hey folks, thank you for making CTE Outdoor Power a preferred dealer and Hustler one of the most popular riding mowers. Recently, I met a couple from Evergreen who discovered us because friends recommended both CTE and Hustler. They heard our team of friendly, helpful professionals would guide them to the Hustler model that's the best fit for them, and that because we support all the products we sell, we take the hassle out of future needed parts and service. They liked Hustler because of the highest quality and warranty, and that we partner with Hustler to offer 0% interest financing. Now, if you haven't discovered Hustler and CTE yet, now is the perfect time because this month, when you mention this ad, we'll pay the sales tax when you purchase any new riding mower. Folks, can you get all that anywhere else? CTE Outdoor Power, I-85 at Perry Hill Road and CTEOutdoorPower.com.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. Truckers, if you are looking for green grass, contact Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. In business since 1959 and still growing. Call today, 855-777-9785.
Well, hi, everybody. The heat and humidity is locked in all week long again, with random storms here and there in the afternoon and evening hours for the most part. That's when they're most numerous. Some can put on quite a show, as you know. The actual high temperature today in the middle 90s with triple-digit heat indices, and really not much day-to-day change for the rest of the week and into the weekend. Lows at night will be in the mid-70s. Slow down, take it easy, stay hydrated. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey Publix.
The River Region's first and only news talk station on FM. Live, local talk. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. The news and views of the afternoon. Now, as promised, I think we need to play this John Kennedy clip.
Okay.
He was on with Kayleigh McEnany. And she asked him about the whole Biden crisis ongoing.
Senator Kennedy, this is a big deal that one of your Democratic colleagues, Senator Warner, is having this meeting. When Biden was asked about this, he said, oh, that's just one senator. But it sounds like a lot of senators have concerns. And I'm wondering, you work with these senators every day. Do you think their concerns were assuaged tonight?
I'm not sure, Kayleigh, that interviews like the president gave tonight matter much at this juncture. You can't make this cat walk backwards. People saw what they saw in that 90-minute debate. And I think most of them think that it's only a matter of time before President Biden stumbles again, because they understand that old age doesn't get better, it gets worse. Fairly or unfairly, I think most Americans have made up their minds. I think they have concluded that President Biden is old, that he is likely suffering from some form of neurodegenerative disease, that he's suffered from it for a while, and that the White House and many members of the media industrial complex have covered it up. And that cover-up has been toxic. In my opinion, for what it's worth, politically, I think President Biden politically is as dead as fried chicken. He can quit, but he can be replaced. Let me just finish my thought. Or he can run and lose. You can't successfully run for President of the United States when your campaign slogan is, I'm only senile some of the time, as one commentator pointed out today.
Wow. Wow. I love how Kennedy puts stuff sometimes.
Not afraid to speak the truth.
Upset with myself.
Yeah.
Some of his verbiage.
You can't make this cat walk backwards.
No.
It's just, that's beautiful.
Dead as fried chicken.
Politically.
I mean, if a cat walks backwards, might also be dead. I just love where he gets some of those.
And there's some of this stuff that Kennedy does in these committee rooms that I wish we could play on air. Because he's quoting in a senatorial committee. What did you say? F me on Twitter? What, you want to say F me
I'm
to
right-
my and
I'm
he's
right
not
here.
using just the letter.
Yeah, I'm right here. You
Or
want to
when
say
he's
it?
reading the sexually explicit stuff, it's like, and his voice in particular. there's something-
I wish one of them would just take him up and be like, yeah, out there on the lawn, let's go, you and me.
Yeah, maybe the Bulls are coming back. Who knows? Well, this is part of the program. This entire hour, in fact, brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. And there at Alabama Home Mortgage, Kim Williams and her team, especially Madeline Cannon, can help you whether you're looking to buy a home. They can walk you through that whole process. Looking to refinance your current home, especially if you're under a mountain of credit card debt. A refinance deal can be a great way to allow yourself to breathe.
Exactly.
So check them out today. You can always call them at 567-4223. Excuse me, that's 567-4223. Or visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies. Let Kim and Madeline prove that to you today. NMLS number 158638, an equal housing lender.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
The City of Montgomery Department of Cultural Affairs welcomes you to Camp Waterfront, an action-packed day of fun and adventure on Saturday, July 13th from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. at Riverfront Park. This free and open to the public event includes zip lining, rock climbing, bungee jumping, canoeing, archery, and even a s'mores bar. Don't miss Camp Waterfront this Saturday, 4 to 8 at Riverfront Park. Brought to you by the Parks and Recreation Department and the Department of Cultural Affairs.
For over 40 years, Headley Plumbing has been fixing the River Region's plumbing problems with fast, affordable service. The pros at Headley are ready to respond anytime you need help, and they charge fair rates for their expert service. They help River Region homes and businesses every day, from repairing leaky faucets, septic tank service, replacing damaged sewer lines, or just unstopping a blocked drain. Trust the experts at Headley Plumbing. Call 285-3667. Headley Plumbing, 285-3667. Remember Headley's motto, in our business, a flush beats a full house.
Headley Metal Buildings has been your source for quality metal buildings in the River Region since 2007. Carports up to 24 feet wide, RV covers, storage buildings, even a sturdy metal barn up to 54 feet wide. Your structure can be customized, installed on level ground, and comes with a 20-year warranty. Let Headley Metal Buildings help you find the perfect solution. Financing available. Call 285-3667 for details or find Headley Metal Buildings on Facebook.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 158638. An equal housing lender.
Live, local talk. The River Region's most trusted voice for news and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. Let's go right to the phones and talk to Billy. Hey, Billy, how you doing?
I'm all right. You doing all right?
Yeah, doing good.
I just wanted to talk about that the guy that called earlier that said that the white and black thing, that he wasn't for sure about the police stuff and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought the same thing for years. I'm 54 years old, but then I started really paying attention. And most African American young guys get put out of the car and their cars get searched, and they, when they have to sit outside on the ground. And I've never had to do that. You know what I'm saying? But I see a lot of it. And I don't see a lot of white people get done that way. And I am white, and I'm a Republican all the way.
Sure.
I don't believe it's a Republican or a Democratic thing. I think it's a policing African-American thing, and I don't know why it is. But I just wanted to clear that up for him, that he's right and wrong at the same time.
Well, I would bolster what you just said, and I'd be happy to lean on a guy named Roland Fryer from Harvard, who caught a lot of flack for a study he did, because the study said, the headline was, no, the police don't disproportionately. There isn't more of an emphasis to kill black Americans in the interactions.
I don't believe it.
But what he did find, right, what he did find is that they were more likely to be essentially roughed up. And I think it depends on your department and the culture of your city and why that might be going on.
Yeah, but Joe Biden could have had stop and frisk for them, but he didn't. He didn't even mention it no more.
Yep. Well, Well, I appreciate the call, Billy.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. So we really only have 3 minutes left in this hour, and then we have a whole other hour to go. But did you, I showed Eddie this. I don't know if you caught this, Byron, but, I think I've made Senator Britt, but Southern women in general mad before. And there's
I'm sure you have.
Yeah, and there's a certain tone where they don't get real nasty, Southern women. I mean, some can. I mean, come on. You've been at Chisholm.
Yeah, King of Chisholm.
I've been in trouble.
Right. But it's more the very polite, oh, bless your heart approach.
Right.
Well, that happened to Senator Britt. She was ambushed. One of these folks is like, I want to take a selfie.
Yeah.
And it was an activist then asking a question.
See, I mean, with the blurred image,
Yeah.
activists.
Oh, yeah. Oh, all day, every day. But, Senator Britt is courteous. So
Yes, she
you
is.
want a selfie? Sure, I'll do a selfie. And then this transpired. Y'all can watch, again, Joey Clark live on YouTube or at the Joey Clark on Twitter X. But I encourage people to look this up. Here we go. Again, this young lady asked Senator Britt for a selfie, and this ensues.
Hi, I'm here with the Congresswoman. I was wondering how much money it would take to buy you back from Big Oil.
From Big Oil.
Yeah.
Oh, you look at how dishonest that was. You asked if you could take a
Love it.
selfie, and now you're asking questions. And tell me, what is it? What do you think that Big Oil? Talk to me about that.
I think that the
Do you think
climate
we should
crisis
be-
is here
do
and
you think
getting
we should
worse,
be
and you're
energy-
being funded by the people who are making that happen.
Listen, we've got to be not only energy independent, but energy dominant. We do it better than anybody.
If folks are just
Thank you.
listening, she got the last point out as the elevator door is closing, and she's leading with the opening.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that was masterclass right there.
That was perfect.
In terms of ambush interviews,
Yeah.
daggone.
Ambush interview, hell, that was like the perfect canned response. Like, if you're going to be ambushed, do this. I mean, Katie's quit, man. You're not going to be able to catch her off her guard. too
I like
much.
that one. I really did.
No, and I just love the, look, you asked for a selfie. How dishonest of you.
Yeah.
Like,
This is
you're
right back to
complimenting
her.
her, but it's
Yeah,
like,
but this is something about women. Both of them are smiling the whole time.
yeah.
I
But
love
they
your
both
They're
would
both
love
thinking-
to
yeah.
go at it.
Yeah,
But that's women, guys. Be
Behind the
careful.
scenes are like, no,
Right.
right.
I
Yeah.
love your outfit, but you're a very nasty human being.
Smell. Just wretched.
Yep.
Yeah, the Jack Campbell word just came to mind. Wretched. That cracked me up so much seeing that. Because I was like, yeah, be careful.
Yeah.
Who you try to ambush up there on Capitol Hill. And plus, it's like a comedy skit because it begins with, I'm with Congresswoman. I'm like, everything's off and
You know it
wrong
right
here
then.
from the very beginning. So, just wanted to share that stupidity.
Good job, Senator. Proud of you.
Let's hit our top of the hour break. Hey, but first, this part of the program brought to you by, Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group. And there at the Goodson Group, Bo and his team are ready to help you whether you're looking to buy or sell in the Montgomery or surrounding areas here in the River Region real estate market. Bo's been doing it for 40 plus years. And at the Goodson Group, not only can they help you with buying or selling, they also have management services available should you want to rent out a property you might own, even if it is your home at the moment. Great idea in this market, but for a reasonable fee, the Goodson Group can manage that property for you. And then the crown jewel there is the Bo Goodson Real Estate School, one of the most highly acclaimed real estate programs in the state because of Bo's experience, but also just the proof and the success of everybody who's gone through the course. So many folks, definitely have lost count, have gone on to great success, whether it's more knowledgeable private players or fully licensed realtors. So check out the Goodson Group today. You can always go online at thegoodsongroup.com or give them a call at 551-0225. That's 551-0225. Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group. Great sponsor here of the program.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. NATO leaders converging on Washington, starting for a summit marking the organization's 75th year. The main focus is for NATO leaders to shore up support for Ukraine and its battle against Russia, but for President Biden also to attend the summit and become just as much about demonstrating if he's capable of meeting the grinding demands of the presidency for 4 more years. Former Senator Jim Inhofe of Oklahoma died. Inhofe had a stroke over the July 4th holiday and died this morning. As Oklahoma's senior U.S. Senator, he was a staunch supporter of the state's military installations. He was 89. And a Massachusetts man could speak again. That's after surgeons removed his cancerous voice box and replaced it with a donated one. It was a pioneering move. This is SRN News.
Government debt is now exploding by an unprecedented $1 trillion every 90 days. Think of that. It's a clear sign that our nation's finances are spinning out of control, and it's putting the savings of every one of you at risk. Hello, I'm Lance Wallnow, a news analyst and best-selling author and an evangelical leader. I'm deeply concerned about the impact this runaway debt is going to have on Christians like you who have worked hard to build your own nest egg for your family. To protect your financial future in these uncertain times, you need to diversify with something tangible and proven, like physical gold. That's why I recommend a gold IRA. To learn more, text FAITH to the number 989898, and my friends at Birch Gold Group will rush you a free info kit on how to move your IRA or 401k to physical precious metals, tax and penalty free. So don't wait. Just text the word FAITH to 989898 to get your free info kit on gold IRAs. Birch Gold Group is the only company I trust. There's no obligation. So text FAITH to 989898, and I pray this information helps you achieve prosperity and peace of mind.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. Truckers, if you are looking for green grass, contact Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. In business since 1959 and still growing. Call today, 855-777-9785.
Well, hi, everybody. The heat and humidity is locked in all week long again with random storms here and there in the afternoon and evening hours for the most part. That's when they're most numerous. Some can put on quite a show, as you know. The actual high temperature today in the middle 90s with triple-digit heat indices and really not much day-to-day change for the rest of the week and into the weekend. Lows at night will be in the mid-70s. Slow down, take it easy, stay hydrated. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Do you have big plans this summer? Dive into summer with an ASE Credit Union vacation loan. Whether you've got a trip coming up, projects at home, or just need a little extra cash, we've got you covered. So don't put your plans on hold. Visit yourasecu.com or stop by and see us today.
1819 News.
Alabama Congresswoman Terry Sewell is backing Joe Biden in his continued effort to be the Democratic presidential nominee. Sewell has posted on social media her support for the whole Biden-Harris ticket, calling it rock solid. Sewell says that Biden has delivered real progress for the American people. The statement from Sewell comes after other Democratic House and Senate members have called for Joe Biden to step down due to his mental decline. Republicans like Caroline Dobson here in Alabama are calling on Democrats to make their positions known publicly on where they stand with Biden. In particular, Dobson is calling on Shamari Figures to do so. Dobson and Figures are running for the seat in Alabama's new Congressional District 2. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
I'm Amy Beth Schaefer with Alabama Unfiltered Radio, and when I need the news and I need it fast, I turn to Andrea Tice and the Daily Detail. On my way in, it is the most convenient, best way for me to digest what's going on so that I can use it for our show. She tells you what's going on in Alabama that day first and fast. So listen to the Daily Detail with Andrea Tice. Don't miss out.
The Daily Detail is available wherever podcasts are found.
Authorities in Cherokee County made an arrest of a burglary suspect while on jet skis. Sheriff's deputies were arriving at a home to make an arrest of 47-year-old Emmanuel Kaiser for theft of property. Kaiser ended up stealing a neighbor's boat to get across the lake and away from police. Other residents then offered their jet skis so police could go across the lake and capture Kaiser, which is exactly what happened after a lengthy foot chase. The city of Fairhope is going to hold a Narcan training event on July 31st at the Civic Center. The goal is to help community members effectively use the overdose reversing drug. The training session is a result of state funds that were given to Fairhope following a statewide opioid settlement. Those who participate in the training will also receive a free Narcan kit for future use. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Your moment has arrived. It's time to shed the normal day-to-day version of yourself and let your most fabulous self loose. Make your way to Wind Creek Atmore, because whatever your idea of fabulous is, this is where you'll find it. Wind Creek Atmore. It's your kind of fabulous. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. With PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 special. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
What the hell are we doing here?
We are behaving the way a superpower ought to behave.
Well, our behavior has produced some crappy results.
Fat broads and horse-faced lesbians.
Shut up, silly woman.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Final hour here of the program. On a Tuesday. Is it Tuesday already?
Yeah, man.
I'm Joey. Eddie Vader's here. Byron Sheehy is here. And there's so much going on in the world. So much indeed. Like, there's even, I don't know if I want to play this now. I kind of have no plan for the last hour, but there is a big expose put out about the company John Deere and how woke John Deere has become.
Yep.
And there are now conservatives on the Twitter saying we need to boycott John Deere for all their corporate woke policies.
I think this is a push. There was recently something that the Tractor Supply Company faced, and they had to have an about face.
Sure
so
did.
I think this is probably just good conservative people realizing that their marketing may have gotten a little out of line with their values and quickly snap back in. I hope.
Yeah, I hope too. And, you know, I'm not, do I look like I own a John Deere?
But there's that really cool country song.
I'd get a zero turn.
John Deere green.
No, I miss having a riding mower. Like, I would have kept cutting the grass if we still had a riding mower.
It's still hot.
I know, but
Although-
there's something about on the riding mower, and especially the one with the two sticks.
I saw one
Like
yesterday, the
zero
new
turn?
one
Zero
with
turn.
the two sticks. They have a cab on it that's air conditioned.
Oh, and
so
look,
suddenly
no,
I was like, you
that
know,
you don't know.
No.
You're not out there today mowing
that's
50
true.
yards, so
That's
come
true.
on. But
There
those
was
guys, they're so
some
cheap,
of
they
my
won't do it.
favorite people when I worked at Parks and Rec were the guys that all they did was mow every day, every week. They had a pattern, and I can't remember the man's name, but he was one of the sweetest people. Other people at the shop would make fun of him, and I tend to gravitate towards folks like that, or kind of the oddballs on the outs. Even there's always a pecking order, even at the shop for Parks and
Oh, yeah.
Recreation in Montgomery.
Always.
But this was like I finally, got to know him, and it's just the sweetest man. And he, in silence or with music, sometimes he would just mow, and that is life. I'm like, there's something to that.
Sure.
Not to get all Sid Hartha on people, like, oh, I just need to be a ferryman by the river.
You can learn
That's true
something from
happiness.
anyone if,
Oh, yeah,
if you actually just sit down and listen with an open heart and open mind. And maybe that's what some of our politicians and city officials need to do.
Yeah, so I'm going to skip the John Deere thing. Education's in good hands. Because this clip's making the rounds. This is, I believe, the president of the National Education Association. at some big NEA event.
Very proud moment for her.
And, well, let's listen in to what the president of the National Education Association, the teachers union, has to say about public education.
James Wood, conservative stalwart, love him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, he's an old favorite of Greg Budel's. But here is the president of the NEA.
Depending on us to win all the things. NEA, we have to win all the things. All the things. All the things. Our colleagues are depending on us to win all the things.
Win all the things.
Keep going, NEA. To preserve our democracy, we must win all the things.
Wait, do you get to bargain against the taxpayers while they have no seat at the table?
Yeah.
While you give a crap product to kids all across the nation?
When she said
Do a
win all the
disservice.
Just
when
like
she
prisons
said-
for kids.
When she said win all the things, I believe she meant win all the elected positions.
Ah, all the things.
All the governorships.
Delegates, we won't go back. We will keep going forward because we are the NEA. We are the NEA. We are the NEA.
Oh, I need Javier
Sound like
Milei with his chainsaw right now.
It's like a sports team she got going on there.
Curious question for you.
Yeah?
When do you think is the last time the AEA actually pretty much delivered an election to a candidate? Statewide governor. Because I got a very specific
Was
one
it
in mind.
Bentley?
Was it?
Yeah, that makes sense. Were they the ones behind the whole, what is it, True Republican Pact that went after Bradley Byrne and went after, because Tim was also, Tim James was in that race
Yeah,
as well.
he was in that race as well.
Yeah, and I'm remembering all that I can't recall every detail, but I was starting to pay attention to Alabama politics at that time. And at that time, I'm like, I don't even want to watch this crap. Like, it's so... Bradley Byrne isn't a true Christian, says the random person that, of course, you believe is a Christian. But are they the right type of Christian? I don't know.
Well, the one I remember was there was a windbane. It's like, how does Bradley Byrne feel about this? Well, the wind blew him this way and this.
Well, and Bradley wasn't exactly Mr. Charisma, and like every politician, I'm sure he's got something going on, but I always found him to be affable. Like, I enjoyed talking to him to a degree.
Very intellectual.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought he was a good congressman.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we do have a few of those here in Alabama. They're all right. They're affable. Like, I'm gonna miss Barry Moore.
Mm-hmm.
Where's he going?
District 1.
Mm-hmm.
He ran in District 1 and beat Jerry Carl.
Where's he going? Where's he going? Back to DC?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But he's been all right.
Well, I mean, we don't residency doesn't really require
That's
anything.
true.
So I'm just going to start
true,
picking my
man.
favorite congressman and say
That's true.
that's my congressman.
Yeah, and
Football team.
in other Alabama delegation news, Terry Sewell still backing Joe Biden.
Big surprise there.
Yeah.
So
Gotta keep them checks rolling in.
honestly, she's a Democrat. I don't really have much bad to say about Terry. I don't like her voting record, but
Well, hold on. You don't have nothing bad to say about her, which is great. But you don't have nothing to say about that decision that she's willing to back an old, feeble man to run this country, but you're still okay with
what
her?
would you do if you were a Democrat in politics right now?
I would grow a set and probably lose my job.
Yeah.
But I'd gain some respect from the SOBs.
But you would lose your job.
So what? Sometimes, Joey, you have to be a man.
Oh, I know.
Or a woman.
I'm
And
not
stand up.
challenging you on this.
Or
And
to
say,
the
hey, this is the
Democrats,
right
you
thing
can
to
be
do.
both.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, right. Could be Clinton in a hurry there.
Yeah. See, Eddie,
Maybe
I feel
retire
like you
first
would
and
be
say-
on that suicide
Oh, I'd
list
do that.
very quickly.
Eddie would be the
Yeah.
And you would
No
say,
doubt.
thank you.
Right.
Eddie would be the
him
member
the
that
bullets.
got the hallway closet that was, the former custodian's closet that got converted to the members closet because he didn't do what leadership said.
Ah, yes. Yeah.
There's the track of, I'm going to go along and, be here for the next 20, 40 years and climb the ladder.
Yeah.
And then there's the guy who says, I'm going to call balls and strikes and represent
Yep.
my constituents. That person normally does not do well at cocktail parties.
Doesn't get
amongst
invited to
caucus.
the fun stuff.
Yeah.
No, what do they do behind the scenes? Is it like freaky deaky
According to
sex
that one
stuff?
senator, there's sex parties and all that. Remember he was.
Oh
in
yeah,
the-
Madison
Yeah.
Cawthorn said that. Yeah, and then when he said all that and he wouldn't apologize, they put out a bunch of freaky deaky sex stuff about it.
Yeah, so
Funny how that works, huh?
when they go through like the routine, where's the segment of, oh, I spent this amount of time reading this bill and doing this research? You don't hear that.
No,
do
you don't.
Nah.
No, you don't. Well, same with AI. If AI is it's supposedly going to run us all, right? Well, at this point, can we not turn AI into, how about proofreading bills for me? That's going to be, look out for me instead of the person that's
Well,
putting that
hell,
bill
I
out.
don't need a representative if the AI is just going to read the bill and then,
Well, I mean, right
run
now we
some
don't
sort
need
of
it anyway
algorithm.
because the bills that are coming out that they're signing, they're not doing nothing for you or I, putting us in a hurt. But why can't we have an AI? Because they come to you 2 days, or not us, but they'll come to them 2 days before a vote. Here's a 6,000-page bill. I need you to read it, and we're going to vote on it in 2 days. No person can do that. And even if you
course
got the
not.
staff, you're depending on other people's opinion.
They don't even write it.
Right.
The lobbyist who writes it for them.
Thank you very much.
And they write it so long, and I mean,
With
there's so
intent.
much redundant language
Right.
in there just to scare poor staffers or the public away from reading to trying
So
to find what's
why
in
don't
it.
we have an AI machine that's just like a Xerox
Why
copier?
don't-
We just feed the documents in.
Why don't we have representatives that say, if I don't have time to read this bill, or
Yeah.
at least have my trusted staff read this bill, then we're not going to consider
There
it.
you go. Like I said earlier. So
You don't know,
man or
we've
woman, you
got
gotta
that
stand
AI
up.
machine and we start feeding it in. It's like, oh no, that's the digital shredder. I didn't mean that. Like, I'm sorry, it's gone. It's just gone. You'll have to write it
Not
again.
the worst idea.
Have to write it again.
Couldn't be any worse than what we have.
Right.
That's the sad
And
part.
when they say we're going to lose all this to AI, I'm like, yeah, well,
Good.
at least it'll be AI screw. I mean, not you. I mean,
I can't wait to
Like,
watch
and-
all these senators turn into artists whenever they get replaced with AI. They're going to
Well,
have
the
to have
artists
some-
are getting replaced
have
too,
to
though,
have
man.
some- we're going to have so many artists and sculptors, songwriters
Yeah.
whenever we all get replaced by AI, man. The Clintons had a low bar when they said the economy is going to be, ran by the service
Yes.
industry.
Mhm.
Man, we're going to be a bunch of thespians. I said thespians.
Mhm.
no
I mean, it's
Subaru drivers.
New age of enlightenment coming up, folks.
Hey, my brother drives a Super.
Really good car. I used to have one
Actually,
in high
the new
school.
ones are great.
Four
Yeah.
wheel drive, man. I love
Yeah.
it.
No, he's on the car most of the time for his job,
Is-
and
is this
I
a-
rode around with him, and I'm like, "This is a fantastic
Is it a
car."
wagon?
All will.
No, it's a SUV,
He missed
mid-size
out.
SUV.
He should have got the shaggin' wagon. That's the way to go in those.
Wait, did you any freaky deaky sex?
Joey, I was a young man with a Subaru.
Yeah, well, I was reading Lord of the Rings. Eddie was
It
actually
don't have to
enjoying
be a
one.
wagon to be shagging, brother.
Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
This is Randy.
Hey, Randy.
Going on, my brothers from another father.
Another day. How you doing, Randy?
I'm doing fine. Hey, Joey, Ed, you weren't there yesterday, was you?
I was here for a few minutes, but something come up.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, his blood pressure.
well, let me ask you something, guys. Whenever, and this ain't a racist comment by no means, I'm not racist, but I called in. I appreciate you, Joey, letting me have the floor against that pastor yesterday with about as big a racist as I think you've had on there next to anybody other than Duke. And Duke's not a racist. I'm just kidding about that. But that guy, when I started asking about,
Medicaid,
what the
yeah.
percentage of this, that, and the other, he wanted to turn into a race thing. I mean, I don't know where you got that guy from, but every time a white person wants to little statistics about black people or Hispanics or whatever, we're racist. But the blacks, the Hispanics can say something about the whites, and it don't mean nothing. Do y'all understand that double jeopardy I just spoke of? Do y'all feel like that?
Yeah, no,
Right
and
now,
people
that's
I
the
think
world
are
we're living in.
tired of it. And honestly, at a certain point, I just stopped caring.
Yeah.
Like, I really, like, if somebody who I really care about says something like that to me, yeah, it hurts. I'm like, why do you think that? But if it's the random person trying to make a political point, and it's like, who cares, you dum-dum? Stop listening.
Yeah, you got a point. But where did you find that dog and pony show?
Well, apparently he was a leader within the community for years now, and I'll talk to anybody, man. Like, I'm trying to get to know Montgomery, and some folks I'm not going to like, you're not going to like, but I think it's valuable to talk to everyone in this day and age.
I agree. But okay, I just I just had that comment, but Eddie, you renting that Airbnb pretty regular up there?
Yes, sir. The month of July has turned into quite a busy thing for us, which is great. But now I just got one more job.
Yeah, what's wrong with the fishing, real quick? And I'm not going to keep much more of the air time, but what's wrong with the fishing up here on Jordan, man? Ain't nobody catching no fish for real. Crappie is just in here.
Well, besides, typical summertime pattern, it's so hot. But you know as well as I do, if you want to catch fish in the summer, especially on Jordan, you need to fish the green light, so you need to fish it at night.
Yeah.
Something happened. I don't care what anybody says. Something happened about 10 or 12 years ago, and fishing really changed up there, big time.
It really did. The crappie at Blackville, they're not even there anymore.
Nope, not even there. You're exactly right. Somebody told me the fish are getting smarter, but I don't know if that's the case.
This week on The Land Show with
that's
Eddie and Randy.
10, 12 years ago, just crappie dried up.
It had something to do with some other fish are putting in the lake, I think.
Later,
all right, see you, Randy.
272-9228.
Invasive species?
Perhaps that, or like just an example. Crappie used to, first week of April, everybody up there could literally sit on their pier and you would limit out in a couple hours.
Mm-hmm.
That was normal for the last 30 years. About 10 or 12 years ago, that started to change. And now, it's not just me, it's other people that live up there, notice that that's not the case anymore. You still get fish around your pier, but you get smaller fish and you get brim and more bass. And could be we have a lot more tournaments, things like that up there, who really knows. But Lake Jordan used to be known as a great fishing lake, and it still is. But I don't know, something with the fish has changed for sure.
Need to get you good folks from Auburn to repopulate that sucker.
Well, we put some tiger bass in there a couple of years ago, and I don't know if that made things better or worse. I hope it made things better, but I don't know.
Sounds like you.
Wait, am I having a stroke right now? What are we even talking about?
Man stuff. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
You go over there, see if you can, or be careful, I'll break out a wasp, and we know what will happen then.
Watch out. My womanly passive aggressiveness will come out.
Stop.
Wretched. 272-9228. I don't even know how we got on all that after listening to the president of the NEA.
It made as much sense.
Man, she was excited though, Joey.
She was real into it, man. Like all the things.
Does that now, as a leader, if you were in that union, does that make you excited, or do you go, oof? Kind of.
No, let me hear it again.
Win all the things. NEA, we have to win all the things.
You know why it's motivated or motivating?
Why's that?
People vote with their checkbooks. And those folks understand that if the opposition wins, their stability is not as secure. We might actually start looking at merit and test scores.
What?
I know.
I don't think so.
So apparently Trump was asked about the debate. Finally, we're going to get his reaction. Let's listen in.
But beyond that...
Oh, no, not Sean Hannity.
I was going to ask.
Not Hannity. Let me get past this question.
A lot of energy. Boy, energy like you haven't felt in a long time. On any of the debates, I've done a lot of debates, and we've had great success with debates, but this was something very special. For whatever reason, it just seemed big. And when I got to Atlanta, and this was at CNN headquarters, there was a lot of excitement. There were trucks. I call them the $10 million trucks. That's with the antennas all over, and very incredible equipment. I'm looking at things that are, it's just more of a scene than it normally would be. And it really was that way right from the start, right from the moment they introduced us, and then they introduced him and introduced me, and I walked out and I saw him, and he looked extremely pale, to put it nicely. And I don't know, maybe it was a good makeup job or maybe it wasn't, but he was a very pale-looking man. And when he started to speak, I don't know, I thought his voice was weak. I didn't know exactly what was happening. It was strange. I do have to say that the CNN, Jake and Dana, they were really, they were pretty good. They were really, they were. I thought they were fair. I thought they were fair in the questions. I thought to him, to me. But it was a strange evening. I will tell you, it was a strange debate because within a couple of minutes, the answers given by him were they didn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, and I've got quotes here from Tuberville talking about we're just sitting back and letting the Democrats slit their own throats, and that was the vibe there from Trump. Like strange, I don't know what's going on.
You remember how before the debate we were having the conversation? Like, do you think you'll do the non-traditional Trump thing and actually get Biden
Yeah.
enough rope to hang himself.
Yeah, we were talking, and he pretty much did that.
He did.
Once again, the man proves he's smarter than the average bear. He don't need to be told.
Right.
You know, in his mind, there were times where he's just chomping at
Well,
the bit.
there were. And
There's a champion
from
at
a
the bit.
stage presence standpoint,
Yeah.
you know, he took advantage of, you know,
Got out of Brandon.
the beating, the social media, or Medicaid to death. Like, he didn't miss too many of them, but there were a couple where he could have pounced, and you can almost see him like
Let
bite his
go.
bottom lip
Yep.
for just a second. It's like he told himself, like, okay, for every time you can hit him, you know, just be a baseball player. Do 1 out of 3.
Yep.
And but then there is, I think, some silliness more on the right going on right now, like celebration, like people are kind of happy in their.
It's mocking.
Yes.
It's
Well,
mocking.
for instance, there's a guy who's on Fox Business all the time, Charles Payne, and we see him usually during this show. It's on the
Shaq's brother.
monitor in here. Well, he was on with Gutfeld's nighttime show, which I'd never really watched, but maybe I should. I will be on Gutfeld. I am happy. I don't really want to do Newsmax. I definitely
But you'll
don't want
do
to do
Gutfeld.
Andy. I would do Gutfeld all day, every day.
Fanboy.
Yeah, no, seriously.
No,
it's
it's fine.
kind of a sit down, more relaxed,
Well, you've
jokey
been a fan of it,
environment.
right?
And it's great to see like the straight reporter, like Charles Payne,
Yeah.
in this setting. So let's listen in together.
Reporter. The barn opening door, the analogy you made was fantastic because the debate was it. That was not a cheap fake. Everyone watched it and they're like, what the hell is going on? But the crazy thing is, I printed this up. Remember when they found that they did this big investigation, they found, well, Joe Biden probably committed a lot of crimes, but he's too feeble to stand trial. So Biden says, I'm an elderly man. I know what the hell I'm doing. I mean, God, that headline right there was it. Dude. What the? This is how many months ago? This is crazy. Yeah. It's been in plain sight. He's been saying crazy for so long, and we just got to look the other way. But my favorite is when he's around the brothers, right? Yeah, yeah. Like the Juneteenth celebration.
Oh.
And then this Sunday he was at the black church. Every time he's around black people, it looks like he wants to call the police.
He used to.
He used to bring them. He used to bring a whole gang of paddy wagons, round them all up. We'll figure out the charges later. But the face, did you see him at the church? Yes. He was scared as hell. he said I was raised in a black church, and the guy had to show him how to give the offering. Like, what? We're usually taking money, not giving it. I'm a Biden, damn it. So this whole thing has been so amazing to watch. I love
It really is.
Wow.
It's kind of like the Pat McAfee version of politics.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
educational, comedic. Like it.
Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
What up, what up, what up?
Hey, Duke. You racist.
What's going on? Old racist bastard, ain't it? Eddie. Is Eddie anywhere around today?
Yeah, Eddie's there. Right here, brother.
Eddie. Well, yeah, man, let me hear your voice.
I'm right here, man.
Huh?
I'm right here.
Boy, you goddamn boy disappeared like a what's the name yesterday? I can't call it what it was.
Somebody that didn't want to go to jail.
Huh?
Somebody that didn't want to go to jail.
Ooh, it wasn't that deep, was it?
I'm smart enough to not let it get that far.
Remind me that would piss you off on the show, okay?
Well,
No,
and also without going into the personal details, Eddie has every reason to be very upset. I'll put it that way.
Okay. You got it. I didn't see what. Okay. Let me leave that alone, okay?
Okay.
Then I hate it got out of hand, but I enjoyed this conversation yesterday, though. Whether some people like it or not. And I heard the interchange between you and him, Eddie. So I'm not going to comment on that. You had your opinion, he had his, so I'm going to leave that alone. But overall, though, I liked a lot of things he was saying. But for the political part of it, I try to stay away from the political part. I just speak my mind on things and what I see and what I've lived in my life, okay? So that's that on that.
Okay.
Basically. So we ain't gonna rehash that whole thing. I heard what's his name called in a while ago. I don't like what, but here's what I don't get now. When I bring up a race or want to talk about the subject matter or whatever, when I sit back and hear, like the guy called complaining, talking about when we say some people get no, don't say it. I want you to say it. I invite all people on here all the time to say what they want to say, right? Don't I say that a lot of times? Say what the hell you want to say.
You do. Yeah. Yes.
So don't bite your tongue on here, okay? Black people are not going to get upset because you say something. Hey, you say stuff all the time. People say stuff all the time about black folks or whatever. Hell, you can't say nothing brand new that we never heard before. So say it. Damn it, say it. So that's that. So stop complaining, be like I do. Hey, I'm going to say it. If I feel like I want to say something about white folks today or tomorrow, I'm going to say it. That's my opinion, okay? Don't get upset and your panties in the water or whatever because I hurt your feelings because of what I said. Challenge what I said. Give your opinion different from mine and challenge what I said, okay?
That's the issue, Duke. When people do challenge what you say, or not just you, but other people like that, they can't have an open conversation. People start to get emotional, and all of a sudden it becomes a 3-year-olds on the playground. You're a racist. No, you're a racist.
But
that's not open conversation. That's a waste of everyone's time.
Right. I ain't saying like I do sometimes, and talk over folks. I do it on purpose sometimes because some folks is long-winded like me gonna try to out-talk me anyhow. So I end up doing and making a fool out of both of us probably. But overall, though, I feel we got to have it. We got to get it out. We got to have a roundtable discussion and get mad and talk about all of this stuff that's bothering you about black folks or white folks, who the hell ever. But I sent you something, Mr. Joey, that gave you something to think about right there. What I sent you.
When did you send it?
I sent it last night to you. I know you're so popular you can't get it. Read all your stuff.
No, it's just I'm illiterate, and you sent it was way too long.
I know. I had to say it all. I wanted to get it all.
No,
out.
I did read it last night. I wanted to go to bed, man. No, and the whole point of having Ed Nettles on, and I'm happy to have other folks on, is to hash it out, have the conversation. I'm just, with my opening rant, Duke, I'm getting a little tired of oh wait, there were really racist people in Montgomery in the '60s, and there's a legacy there. Did we just we just learn that today? It's like a conversation that's been going on for decades now.
Yeah. I try not to revisit that. So I can always point to the future. I can always point to stuff like the University of Alabama kids, or they're telling people go back to the project. I can use.
Well, and Duke, let me ask you.
Going to the past.
You talk about the future. Let me ask you the question I asked Nettles, and he didn't answer this really. If you had $1 billion to build a monument to represent the people of Alabama, what would you put up there, Duke?
Not no individual that.
Right.
I had to think about it a while because I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings.
Well, and the reason I keep asking folks that question is I think it's a good thought experiment because we are sort of stuck based, I think, on the national political scene, that Montgomery is sort of this touchstone of the origin story of modern liberalism. It's why you still do have the attention of places like the New York Times and whatnot. And I think Montgomery's somewhat stuck in playing that role to everybody's harm. And there are a few folks who are getting paid off of it. But to most folks, I think, harm, we're not moving forward. And if we had to define ourselves, everybody, black and white, all the different cultures here in Alabama, as a people, I don't think most folks are ready to do that because we're stuck.
A good example about what you just asked about the monument. The school changing names. I wouldn't have named them black people names, okay? Because if for some reason, the whites decide to come back home, okay, and start running, and they got to come to black school now. Name the school named black. That's the same problem people had to start with about the Confederate name being up there. So hell, don't put nobody's name up there. Just keep it white or damn it, transparent or clear or whatever the hell you want to put it at.
Or it could be like St. Paul.
Or the School of Excellence, the School of High Learning.
Yeah.
Wait, you graduated from you graduated from UD Jesus too? Okay, all right.
Yeah, So that's why I'm on that. So. But
okay.
We're in America. Everybody know their hearts, don't you, Eddie? Everybody know their hearts, don't they?
They're supposed to.
And I know you're a good guy, so I communicate with you off the air. So So, but don't run for no fight no damn more, okay?
I've been to jail.
Handle that
I've been to the
Marine.
Ripley Street
Handle
Motel.
that Marine.
It ain't a favorite
Handle
place.
that Marine, boy. Reach over, grab that Marine and shake him next time.
No. Everybody has a right to their own opinion. I just don't have to sit there and listen.
You know, I got to cut. Yeah, I know. I'm just cutting up with you now.
Yeah, you said you didn't want to rehash all this, and we're
Get
still
right back on the highway.
I don't want to do the thing I'm doing right now, but I'm doing it. Not appreciate it.
I know Ed a good sport from me. You know who I am.
Yeah,
okay.
I know where he's at.
Well, appreciate the call.
All right,
man.
y'all be good.
See you, Duke.
272-9228.
There's a good point in there. We got a lot of people talking past people and not having conversations, like legit trying to understand where the other side's coming from instead of just beating them to death with my words, trying to force my views onto them. So I always try to find common ground from the beginning. Like, can we both agree before we get to politics that at the core bare essentials, we want to make sure our families are safe and secure and provided for? Okay, cool. After that, maybe have a roof, running water, some electricity over our heads. All right, we got that. Safe and secure streets, starting to get iffy there.
Yeah.
But let's at least find common ground from the beginning so that we both don't have horns in each other's eyes and actually realize that we have more in common than we do different.
Well, and then you get to the nub of the political difference at a deeper level is how do you do those things?
Ted Lasso, man. Be curious. Ask questions.
Yeah. But, I mean, we're kind of stuck, though, in institutions that are now several decades old, and the argument is essentially give them more money and more power or don't.
Yeah, but-
like, the conservative argument that pisses me off because it lacks vision is like, no, let's just not do that. And I'm like, well, then what should we do? They did a great start with that school choice thing this session, but like there needs to be more of the Republican Party has a lot of sins under its belt.
Oh, yeah.
And they're way too fat and happy over there on Goat Hill with the status quo in different parts of the state. You know, everybody's to blame for this. We can't think of what would represent all the people in this state. It's because the state is divided, not just along racial lines, but North Alabama's a heck of a lot different than South Alabama.
When you asked a question, I was trying to figure out what my answer would be. And
football?
No. I'd have a peanut and I'd have a rocket ship. A peanut as a tribute to the past and the ingenuity and to me that I mean the perseverance or just to me the quintessential trait of being a Southerner is surviving. And what they were able to get out of a peanut is nothing short of amazing to me. And putting a man up in space and knowing that some of those rockets were made in Alabama, I mean, to me, that's a perfect blend of the old and the future.
It'd probably be something like that. But I think to really answer that question, you need a true artist with a vision. And I don't necessarily think the three of us in here are that. Most folks aren't that. Somebody who really can have an artistic vision. And it reminds me of one of my favorite Gore Vidal lines. Art is not a democracy. You can elect all the right people. You can put a committee together on what should we do with this. I think it's why we've had issues with different monuments because they try to do it by committee. Whereas instead, no, you need to have somebody, you find the right person that has a vision and let them execute it to say the thing everybody has on their lips but can't quite pronounce.
Maybe a farmer from the late 1800s and 1900s holding hands with someone from the civil rights era and then holding hands with, someone who's in science representing the future and past, present, future.
Yeah, and I almost wonder, are there stories from the past that defy the story everybody knows? And I bet at the individual level, all the time, it was happening. That official story, whatever way you want to cut it, is not actually the whole warp and woof of everyday people's lives. And there's probably, if you do some digging, maybe I should dig, there's probably some incredible things.
Well, I mean, I'm going to open up a can of worms here.
Oh, no.
How many African-American women were arrested before Rosa Parks that tried to do the exact same thing to get the exact same response to garner the attention that it needed to receive?
Oh, yeah, I think there were a few.
That wasn't just a random happenstance events, to my understanding.
It wasn't.
No, it's not.
So,
Well, and all this, it was staged on purpose. The whole point is to get the cameras, the sit-ins, the marching and all that stuff. I mean, and even the worst Bull Connor's like, yeah, it's kind of prearranged. You'll go in the paddy wagons, like all this stuff. Part of the history that I think is left out by a lot of your more liberal thought leaders is the role of guns, though, and people who were just fed up at that time. It wasn't just peaceful, loving Christians who were mad about Jim Crow.
Oh, no.
There are a lot of bad dudes with guns that were ready to raise hell. And you can go look at police records from Birmingham at the time. And so it allowed people like King to say, hey, deal with me or deal with them. Like, which one is it?
I've told you some of my, off the record conversations, like how intimately involved some of the people I personally know were, in some major events that changed history.
Yeah. Well, and there's a reason George Wallace Jr. keeps writing books about his dad. It's individual people who were there at the height of that era. They're complicated. Like everybody is complicated. And if you actually look into that complexity, I mean, everything's not going to be redeeming. There's going to be definitely some warts, but they're going to find interesting aspects. And this is true of our own history, recent and ancient history. Mm-hmm. It's gnarly. It doesn't perfectly make sense like a Marvel movie, as much as people might try to fit in that box. We got to hit a break.
Right.
I love the conversation, but we do have to hit a break. Be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hey, folks, thank you for making CTE Outdoor Power a preferred dealer and Hustler one of the most popular riding mowers. Recently, I met a couple from Evergreen who discovered us because friends recommended both CTE and Hustler. They heard our team of friendly, helpful professionals would guide them to the Hustler model that's the best fit for them, and that because we support all the products we sell, we take the hassle out of future needed parts and service. They liked Hustler because of the highest quality and warranty, and that we partner with Hustler to offer 0% interest financing. Now, if you haven't discovered Hustler and CTE yet, now is the perfect time because this month, when you mention this ad, we'll pay the sales tax when you purchase any new riding mower. Folks, can you get all that anywhere else? CTE Outdoor Power, I-85 at Perry Hill Road and CTEOutdoorPower.com.
Make 2024 the year you break away from the chain stores and join us here at Adams Drugs. We value your business and want to provide you the best customer service at the lowest possible price. We've been serving up excellent customer service here in the River region for over 62 years.
I made the swap to Adams Drugs and I couldn't be happier. Having a job and then getting 3 kids to all of their activities keeps me busy. I don't have an hour to waste waiting on a prescription. At Adams, they know me and my family. I get in and out in minutes, and when I can't get by Adams, they'll bring the prescription right to my door.
What are you waiting for? Come in to Adams Drugs and let us earn your business. Our friendly and personal staff will talk with you and answer any questions you may have about your prescriptions. Your satisfaction is our #1 goal. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net for the location nearest to you. Adams Drugs is your local independent Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Hi, this is Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop. Listen every Saturday to Winning Wellness and learn from experts in different fields of science and technology how nutritional supplements can help you.
Listen to Winning Wellness every Saturday at 10 a.m.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man, Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Ernest. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Riverside Chevrolet Wetumpka. If it's Chevy, it's Riverside. Best price, best selection. Check them out on the web at riversideusa.net.
Well, hi, everybody. To say we are locked into a weather pattern is an understatement, with temperatures, not only excessive daytime temperatures and heat indices, but the nights are muggy too. With the risk of a few scattered storms around, some could put on quite a show. Overnight low temperature in the muggy mid-70s. Tomorrow we'll do it again, with highs in the middle 90s and triple-digit heat indices. More random, scattered, hit-or-miss storms, feast or famine, most numerous in the afternoon and evening hours each day right on through the upcoming weekend. And every day highs averaging in the mid-90s. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
John Bobo with Capital Tractor. Don't miss our great package deal right now on a 25 horsepower Kubota tractor with front end loader and more. All for 0% APR 84 months with approved credit.
Now through September 30th, 2024. See Capital Tractor or go to KubotaUSA.com for more details.
The River Region's News Talk Station. News Talk 93.1. WACV. News Talk 93.1.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Let's go right to the phones and talk to Ken Mullinax. Hey, Ken, how you doing?
Hey, Big Joey. I hope all of y'all are doing well.
Yep, I am.
I wanted to 10-4 what you were recently saying. As you probably are aware, my first job out of college, I was the speechwriter for Governor Wallace in his last term. And I also was the press secretary for Alabama's first ever black member of Congress. So I have spent a lot of time speaking to the good guy, really everyone involved in the civil rights movement, with the exception of Dr. King, who died when I was a child. But I've spent hours and hours with them. And you were spot on when you said Alabama was selected and I asked the individuals why, and they said because, of course, we had some of the roughest people, Jim Clark, Sheriff Jim Clark in Dallas County, Bull Connor in Birmingham, and they said, we needed to let the American people see, by bringing down news media, just exactly how tremendously bad things were, and it didn't get any worse in Alabama. Mississippi came a close second. And I say all of this, and I should have prefaced by saying I put together John Lewis's Civil Rights Tour, and the Smithsonian Institution has selected me just a few years ago. I give their Civil Rights Tours of Selma and Montgomery. So I'm really on this a lot.
Sure.
And you were right. Certain people were selected. For example, and Rosa Parks did a tremendous thing, a heroic woman. A lot of folks don't realize that a lot of these women that were riding these buses were severely beaten. She wasn't, but they were severely beaten. And several months before, she was arrested. 14, 15-year-old Claudette Colvin from Kings Hill was arrested for the same thing, but she was a bit young and not quite of such a well-respected character as Rosa Parks. So, things happened like that, and Alabama was selected, and it was a good reason to be selected. And I'll share, if I've got one more minute,
Sure.
I'll share one last thing with you, Joey. and speaking to Governor Wallace for hours on this, he said, Kenny, he said, I'm afraid I'm going to hell. And I said, no, not you, Governor. Why? He said, well, I've never killed anybody, but my words have killed dozens. I said, what do you mean? He said, it was Friday the 13th in 1963, and the New York Times called and asked me, what needs to happen for the civil rights movement to end in Alabama? And he said, I flippantly told them what we need are a couple of first-class funerals. He said, that was Friday the 13th. On Sunday, September 15th, the Ku Klux Klan bombed the 16th Street Baptist Church and killed those 4 little girls. And I feel like their blood is on my hands. That shows what was going on here, but it also cautions us to be careful of what we say, because there are a lot of weak-minded people who take things that we say flippantly and take them literally, and bad things happen. So with that said, I'll shut up and leave you guys alone, but I did want to share that with you.
Thank you, Ken. Appreciate the call.
Wise words.
Thank you, buddy.
272-9228. And on that note, before we hit this final break, this part of the program brought to you again by Dylan Rings. Get by their Instagram page, and you can see that they're doing Christmas in July to Josh's departed brother, who would have been 45. So they're doing 10% to 45% off on selected items, everything in stock, 10 to 45% off. Depends on the item, what the percentage is, but that's why you got to get by 119 Brown Springs Road.
Exactly right.
And start doing that Christmas shopping early. And it's kind of a fun reminder that, the seasons will turn and it'll
be here before you know it, Joey.
And you can get it done early at a great discounted price. But of course, it's not just their great selection and great deals. They can do custom design work, which Josh is second to none. The man is a true artist. Maybe he should come up with the monument for Alabama. Or maybe you're looking for a repair. Other jewelers in town send stuff for Josh to repair. That's how good he is at it. And of course, they can also do appraisals, spa treatments or cleanings of that jewelry so it's shimmering and shining like it used to when it was brand new. They can do it all there at Dylan Rings. So check them out today. You can always go to DylanRings.com. But again, I really encourage you to stop by 119 Brown Springs Road, right here in Montgomery, just off of Atlanta Highway, where the old fun zone used to be, is how I remember it. And be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie and Byron, those fellas on the radio, sent you.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Craving authentic Italian? Every Friday and Saturday evening, Epicure and Jack's Tavern transforms into an Italian paradise. From homemade pasta to classic Italian specialties, let them transport you to Italy. Their executive chef, Glenn Tarantino, crafts every dish to perfection.
Discover a world of exquisite wines at Epicure and Jack's Tavern. From La Crema to Camus, enjoy their full line of wines at below retail prices, perfect for dine-in or carry-out. Savor the flavors of top-tier wines without breaking the bank. Experience the wine wonderland at Epicure and Jack's Tavern.
I'm Hannah Grantham, and together with Eddie Bader, we are your listing specialists with Forest Meadows Homes and Land.
We know the Tri-County market like the back of our hands. As listing experts, we use top-notch marketing strategies to ensure your home gets the attention it deserves.
And when we say top-notch, we mean it. Professional photos, compelling descriptions, and a dedicated approach that truly stands out in today's market.
We're committed to providing the highest level of service and expertise.
So if you're ready to sell, why settle for less when you can have the best? Give me a call today at 334-368-6358.
Because your home deserves the best.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Live local talk. The River Region's only 24-hour News Talk FM station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Let's go right to the phones, as is tradition at this time of the show, and go to Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. Hey, Ray, how you doing?
Man, we are doing great. How are y'all doing?
Good.
Just fighting this traffic. Gotta love it.
Joy.
You know, I was sitting here thinking, and I hate to leave the bearer of bad news, but we have less than a month before the kids are back in school.
Ooh, you're right.
Less than a month.
Yep.
And look, there's these projects that I know y'all said, hey, we're going to get these knocked out this summer. before the kids go back.
Right.
And if you have anything with the floor that needs to be taken care of now's the time to call us at 285-8117. We'll come out and give you that free measurement, and we'll get it taken care of before school. But it all starts with a phone call.
285-8117, still that number?
That's it. So I know y'all are ready to go home, so why don't we just call it a day and y'all can play music for the next 5 minutes. Go home early.
We'll let Joey sing.
Oh, God. Appreciate it, Ray.
Thank you, Ray.
All right, guys.
Yeah, folks are really, one thing we didn't get into in detail today is everybody keeps talking about Project 2025.
Yeah, got off your
is
call
the
with that.
real agenda of Trump and them. Well, it's the Heritage Foundation.
Right.
So, maybe he'll implement stuff like that. But they did just come out with a 20-point platform that's more whittled down. Here's specifically what I'm going to try to do. And I just love how ominous everything is.
Yeah.
And I had some guy coming at me today, well, Trump's a criminal. I'm like, well, all politicians are criminals. That's not an excuse. I'm like, yeah, nobody should support any politicians. But that's not the world we live in.
Right.
Don't argue with me.
He's my felon, Joey.
My tender heart.
Right.
He's my felon.
He's my felon.
But, you're not going to solve all the world's problems in one day.
No.
It's just going to be interesting to see the food fight that is going to be ongoing here in the United States.
Do you still think they're going to replace Biden? Because you were the first one to put that in my head, and a lot of things you predicted on that are happening. But do you still think that that's going to be the eventual move, that Biden will not be?
I don't know. It seems like that's where it's going.
Sure seems that way.
And it seems like that would probably be the best strategy for the Democrats, actually.
It sure seems that way. And it seems like the harder he fights, the more that he's kind of going down the drain there.
Right. Oh, we didn't get to this yesterday. Both me and Karine Jean and that John Kirby fella.
Yeah.
They said, well, coming up, he's going to do a big boy press conference.
Oh,
they both
Lord.
used the word big boy press conference. And you're like, these folks are saboteurs. He's a big boy.
Well,
isn't he a real big boy over there?
Again, you called it. The knives were not out 2 months ago. They started showing up. And, man, they've just taken the brakes off at this point.
Yeah. And so we'll see how that goes. I hope, the situation in Montgomery in terms of all these folks getting shot turns around.
I sure hope it does. I think
Again,
people do.
Dr. David Thrasher, whose most recent email we read earlier in the show, he will be on with Greg Budell, I believe, this afternoon at 3:30. So y'all stay tuned. That should be coming up shortly.
A really good interview.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I want people in general to flourish. I understand the frustration, though. Well, if you just gave more of the money or allowed us to take more of your money and continue to just fix it like the experts because we care or something, it just does. I don't buy it.
Well, I've seen the investment and it doesn't pay off, man. Not like we were told it would.
Yeah, but that's going to be the fight going forward.
Yep.
And we'll see what the
How about just
city
let me
and
have-
council and the mayor and everybody come up.
Let me have my money and I'll donate where I think it goes.
Now you're
Instead of you
speaking my
taking my
language.
taxes and just giving it away.
Have I made you an anarchist yet?
No.
I might start arguing for anarchism more often on these airwaves. Like no government. Like we'll have law in the sense that courts will compete.
Yeah.
But now I could go into a whole rant on
You're
why
going to have to lay out your anarchy because I think people think it a little bit different.
Yeah, well, it's
No laws, baby.
It's to quote Michael Malice, the black flag comes in many colors.
Yes, it does.
Mm-hmm. And there are some anarchists that hate that guy.
Yeah.
They're like, no, anarchism is actually like communism and stuff. Like, yeah, Emma Goldman was that, but then she saw how that kind of worked out in the Soviet Union, wasn't happy about it.
No.
Anyway, that's another argument for another day.
All right, man.
Let's get out of here.
All
Greg
right.
Budell, good to see you, man.
See you, bro.
Greg's next.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 9.